everybody. Welcome to BWZ Podcast. I'm your host, Barry. Beside me is my partner, Wei Zi. And right over there, we have our editor, Zeng Yu. We are just a bunch of morons on YouTube trying to make a living doing reviews about anime, manga, and perhaps a game. To be honest, I don't even know why I'm doing this.
The intro, but let's get this show on the road.
Wait, before we start, Barry, do you have like some kind of sugar drink today?
No.
Okay, that doesn't explain the high at all. Let's go.
Okay, we'll be reviewing the anime Your Name, also known as Kimi no Nawa, by the I'm screwing up already. By the director Makoto Shinkai. Just for the viewer sake, we will be cutting this. We'll be doing in terms of the 3 acts format, with the first act being up to the point where they stop body swapping. The second act will take place. The second act will take place around
The one where they were talking up through the
be after the body swapping stops, and I think the third act, because
when they are trying to fight each other.
the third act will be when they are finding each other after
I thought that's the second act.
trip. No,
I thought that.
the second act is when the body swapping stops.
The first act. The first act would be where they started realizing their body swapping. Second act is where the body swapping stopped.
No,
and the
second
third,
act is after the body swapping stops and
After
Taki tries to contact Mitsuha.
And the last one will be when they
And the
meet
last
each
part will
other.
be when they meet atop the mountain. So basically, that's the closing act.
Also, spoiler warning for those people that have not watched the show.
Right, if you
Come on.
haven't watched it, go fuck yourself. It's been out since 2016. What the hell are you doing
Language,
with your life?
please.
Language,
Children are
please.
watching this. Children are watching this, my
Language,
friend.
please. I'm editing this.
Yes.
I
Please
don't care. I
have
don't care
mercy-
about the children. I
Have
need mercy on my soul.
our editor. Have mercy on our editor. He is
Well-
dying. Please.
Well, I'm gonna be Sam Jackson of this podcast. So screw you.
Oh my god. Then what? Then I will be the Captain America.
How about you be Bucky that died?
Sure.
Okay, well,
He's just gonna leave the call.
okay, well, let's get this started. The show opens with the show opens when the comet is cutting through the sky, and if I'm not wrong, that's when Taki is inadvertently witnessing the death of his girlfriend without even realizing it at that point in time.
That's just pretty sad, to be honest.
I mean, it's an anime.
Yeah, to be
I
honest.
mean that's kind of accurate to what happens.
Bro, seriously, almost. At least not as bad as some other anime I've ever watched. This is still okay. Have you heard like what? Badak?
Well, let's get back on track.
Yeah, let's get back on track.
It's been like what, 5 minutes?
As we were saying, when the comic went by, when Makoto saw the comic went by, which is more or less the comic.
Jesus, Makoto's the director. Get your facts right, bro.
Wait! Wrong fella. I mean, Tachibana saw the comic fly by. That's more or less where his girlfriend died, Mitsuha died, and it more or less the saddest. Nah, it's not that sad, to be honest.
Well, I mean, it also cuts well when it shows both of them waking up and having a monologue about having a dream.
To be
and
honest-
thinking that they've lost something.
To be honest, the comic is more or less a foreshadowing of something later in the film, if you think about it, lah.
I mean, that can be said, but more notably is how I feel that the more notable is how well they had animated the Tokyo cityscape.
I feel like my favorite part is probably how well they animated the damn comic. It looks pretty much surreal.
I mean, it is surreal. It's in the anime.
Yeah, true.
Okay, back on track before we start reviewing Act
back on
1.
track.
Yes. It can be noted that it's actually enhanced by the Red Wings montage that they actually did afterwards. If I'm not wrong, it is the song Dream Lantern. So and it shows a montage of them trying to find each other in Tokyo and in the town in the small town as well.
Oh, you mean their opening lah?
Yeah, the opening. And it's also can be stated that even though it's a movie and there's a anime opening, it can be stated that it is better than most anime opening in recent years.
Yeah, true. To be honest, that's rather depressing. But
I mean, you can't say it's depressing because it's done by
but if you
Shinkai.
think about it, it's almost anime film always will have an opening. I seen a lot of Doraemon films. It's always an opening. I seen Pokemon the opening. I seen what else Badak. To be honest, I don't remember that one if that one has an opening or not. I also seen shit.
Well, we have established that your memory is rather unreliable, so yes.
Yes. We have established that fact. But hey, almost every anime film I have watched always have an opening.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's anime. There always must
it's
be an
anime.
opening and an ending.
I mean, like Evangelion, Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Isn't it a better way to say that any movie has an opening and ending?
Yeah, but then
I mean, our opening sequence, not your typical opening.
Okay, fair
most
enough.
cinematic movie is more like they'll be like when I was young.
Okay,
Aliens.
we don't need the
Yeah, something like, you know what I mean. You know
Yeah,
what I mean.
yeah.
We don't need a monologue. Let's get this show started before the recording becomes a 7-hour recording.
Yeah, true. Let's get this record. I have a meeting tomorrow. Damn it.
Wait, just pause for a second. Barry, were you about to quote Pacific Rim?
Yes.
Guess didn't. Alright, let's go.
You guys stop all the freaking movie quoting and actually get along with it. Because I have a 9-page piece of 9-page notes with me that we need to clear.
And I'm meeting my friends tomorrow. God damn it! We all have something we need to do. Damn it!
I have nothing to do tomorrow, so you'll probably be working in post. So yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Continue. As we were saying.
I mean, the fact that shows the montage shows the transformation between the two main protagonists throughout the film when it shows them in, if I'm not wrong, what seems to be middle or high school. I'm not very clear because
looks more like high school to me. Yeah.
I mean, it could be either because Singapore we only got primary and secondary. Our uniforms look like crap compared to theirs.
Yeah, true. But
Yeah,
if you also notice closely, one of the most important thing is the ribbon that ties.
Yes, I do know about it. It does a very heavy. It leans towards the Japanese mythology of the red string of fate. Yes. I think at this point it is a given staple, or I dare say a cliche in anime.
True.
It's very widely believed in Japan, which is nice for people that are like me. So yeah. Well, after the transformation from high school to college and to working adult as seen with Taki and Mitsuha, we move on to the actual opening of the anime past the "Do you remember me" scene. To be honest, the "Do you remember me" scene is more or less unnecessary. I think it just adds on to the runtime. I mean, what do you think about it?
I mean, it could be comedic effect based on like how everyone else acts around them. I mean, in that scenario, it's somewhat realistic, but the thing is like the way they play it off is very in like a comedic sense.
I mean, everyone's just walking still. I think people will stop and stare, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, like the opening is. I mean, come on, let's be serious. This is the scene where they gender swap, right?
After that, that's the next scene.
Wait.
That's the next frame, mate.
I can't recall, to be honest. I really don't know which part. I'm more or less trying to recall what part we're talking about. So the way we are phrasing it right now, I'm thinking it was the scene where Taki realized he noticed he is in a female body. That scene.
For that, I don't need to think how to transition to the next scene. So yes, we have a I think this is probably the most memorable scene in the movie because It shows Taki waking up in Mitsuha's body and thinking like, what the hell is going on? Why am I in the girl's body?
I mean, like, come on. If it was me, if I woke up and I realized in a female body, I'll probably freak out like hell.
We
Jesus
don't
Christ,
want
guys.
to know what you would do, to be honest. That's not what the listeners are here for.
No, never mind. Clearly, you guys don't understand. Clearly, you guys are much more dirtier than me. Never mind.
But of course, on my notes, it stated this scene as a +1 for Ecchi. So yeah, glory to Ecchi. Since he starts being himself. Don't judge me, you assholes. And I find the next part absolutely hilarious because
Yeah, I mean, it is funny. I mean, like, he is groping Mitsuha's body as Taki. It is funny, but
I mean, it is funny because the sister walks in on him as well.
yeah, that's also funny. But did you
He just
seriously?
goes like breakfast in like, I'm gonna slap you in the face type of voice.
Yep.
Which is like, honestly speaking, you don't see little sisters presented this justly in most anime, which is very much a breath of fresh air compared to the Oni-chan shouting lolly, sorry. So moving on from there, it's more of just Taki realizing that it's now in Mitsuha's body.
Or more like he now realized he's in a female body. They still don't know it is Mitsuha yet.
More or less, but it can be noted that the following scene afterwards is not the same scene. It is a separate scene where Mitsuha is back to normal.
Yeah, but they play it off like it's really they make it not obvious like straight away, which is nice.
To be honest, that whole point actually caught me off guard. I was looking at it. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, so that's a little Easter egg that I heard on various podcasts. Credit to the Transformation podcast. Please give us a collab.
To be honest, it's not really a Easter egg. It's more like a foreshadowing. As you notice, when Taki realized he's in Mitsuha's body, he was like constantly groping himself. All this, he still doesn't know what's happening. And when it suddenly transitioned to the next scene where the grandmother or mother, I think it's grandmother.
Grandmother.
Grandmother, right?
The mom passed away when she was a child.
Yeah. The grandmother asked, "Oh, you're normal today." I mean, it is more like a foreshadowing of something isn't right. Because the sudden transition may be
a bit. It's foreshadowing because it already happened. Because it already shows that body swapping is happening.
No, foreshadowing something further, something later.
So basically, grandma is the freaking grandma disposition, basically.
No. It's more like you don't really notice the body swapping yet. You can tell maybe a bit confusion. Maybe they woke up from a dream or something like this. But then the next scene where it transition like this, we are back to normal. It more or less is like a foreshadow of something, the much more bigger picture.
So it's more of like the fact that the grandmother, her dialogue sort of alludes to foreshadowing.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Okay.
That's what I feel like.
Yeah, it can be stated that within the same frame, there's a newscast talking about the comet, which we all know is going to appear sooner or later. So I mean, it's good foreshadowing. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all missed it the first few times we watched about the newscaster talking about the incoming comet.
To be honest, that's almost like every movie. Like the first time you watch it, when something happens, you feel like it's a bit confusing. You don't know what happened. But then perhaps when after you open a fridge, you realize you have a eureka moment and you now understand what it means.
Yeah,
that's something it is.
Yes,
yeah.
And it also can be stated that the ribbon on Mitsuha's hair is also the same ribbon that Taki has on his wrist later on in the movie. Even though he received it when he did not know exactly who Mitsuha was at the time. Okay, so the next scene is when Yotsuha and Mitsuha start going to the school. I mean, it shows, and that scene and this the next few minutes really shows how detailed Shinkai's drawing are. Because I would guess this is what they would refer to as hyper realistic. And it's also here where we get introduced to the two friends of Mitsuha.
Yep.
If I'm not wrong, their names are Sayaka for the girl and Tashi for the guy.
Let me try to recall again. It is the wait, no, that's the father. It's the mother. Yeah, Sayaka, Natori, and Katsuhiko Teshigawa.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean we just keep to the spoken names in the anime for convenience sake and not losing our brain cells. I mean, it also can be stated that later on in the classroom that I mean, it can be noted. Sorry, it can be noted that in the school, the teacher apparently is Yukari Yukino from Garden of Words, which was a short film by Shinkai in 2014.
Which one? Wait, which one again?
Garden of Words.
Yeah, which character?
Yukari Yukino, the love interest of the main protagonist.
Oh yeah. This one I remember. Yeah. The Garden of I remember.
She was there explaining what Katawari Doki, also known as Twilight, is. So it's nice to see another familiar character again. So it feels like all his movies are taking place within the same universe. To be honest.
Mm-hmm. Which I believe it really is really in the same universe.
I mean, based on the fact that there are recurring characters, I guess you could imply that, yes.
Yeah.
And it's also hilarious to hear the lunchtime banter between Mitsuha and her friends, because Taki was in her body the other day. So they're talking about how she had like bed hair and whatnot, looking really unkempt. But the next part that really like really gets me riled up in terms of laughing and enjoying myself is when she started going on the rant about Itomori and how she just wants to move to Tokyo. I mean, she literally she and her friend Sayaka starts ranting about how there's like two pups for some reason. And how they can't get a job and can't get married.
Yeah.
I mean, we are in Singapore. We can't relate.
The one where they are under the tree, right?
Yeah, no, the part where they are walking on the road.
Wait, really, man?
Yeah, and then Cassie just like rings their bells by saying, let's go to a cafe. But the cafe just ended up being a freaking
vending machine.
that's coffee, yeah.
Yeah, their reaction just sells it all. It's because
The reaction
funny.
just sells it.
Yeah,
which is further implemented
funny.
by the fact that Mitsuha didn't even bother entertaining them. She just left.
That is funny.
And it's hilarious because their cafe is just a bench by the roadside with the vending machine next to it. And from here, the next part we resume to from what I see is I think they're weaving the braided cords at the shrine or somewhere near the shrine at least.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, +1 for Mitsuha and Yukata. God damn. We resume at Grandma Exposition again, talking about
the explanation about the threads.
Yeah, about the weaving the threads and whatnot. Which then leads to this scene, which is I also feel is this scene is cements the level of animation that Shinkai does, because it was during when Mitsuha and Yotsuba are doing the shrine dance.
Mm-hmm.
And the animation is top notch. And apparently they got kabuki, something like a kabuki actor or actress to help out with staging the dance, if I'm not wrong.
So effectively, they have done their research, lah.
They've done their homework, yes.
Yeah, because to be honest, this is rather important because most movies they still do their home research at time, but then they have
It's
a bit
not
of credit,
sufficient.
like it's not sufficient enough. So, for example, it leads to a bit extra experts to see the movie as a bit awkward. While we at times require realism and a bit of fantasy, at least this one Makoto has shown his work and done his homework that to cement the scene of how this movie is trying to go on realism
Realism
per se,
and
per se lah.
realism over the fantasy aspect. But there's also a good portion of fantasy within this story as well. So I guess everything balances out eventually.
Mhm.
And I mean, here we see them having making the kuchikami sake, which is them just chewing it and like spitting it into what is it it looks
It's more like a sake, you know.
yes, I know, but they are like what's that called?
They're
They spit
chew.
it they are chewed and then they put it into a wooden box and leave it to ferment. Honestly speaking, I find that sort of disturbing.
But then
But-
you do know this is like something based on the tradition of their village, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
As I for one have went to some Japanese villages before. They each and every village have their own traditions and their own way of life, so it makes sense. So to them, the chewing of rice and slowly spitting out onto the wooden box to let it ferment to make the sake is in a sense traditional and also important to them, like part of their identity.
Okay. I get it now. I mean, but this leads to one of the more comedic moments with Mitsuha talking about going to Tokyo, but because they are broke and they are in the boonies that they don't have enough money to do that. So Yotsuha, being the absolute genius she is, suggested that she sell the kuchikami sake. However, she says it quote unquote goes against the liquor laws,
Yeah.
which is also followed up by her literally calling Mitsuha a fool for screaming about how she wants to be a handsome boy in Tokyo.
Furthermore, there's the extra scene where there was the scene cut of Mitsuha thinking of her selling the sake.
Yeah.
That whole part is funny. That part is funny.
I mean, it looks like a freaking
The Gilligan cut. The Gilligan cut.
Yeah, the Gilligan cut. It looks like what you see on like your 1980s VHS tapes and shit.
It's always funny.
I mean, no shit. That's why everyone
It's-
loves the scene so much.
It's so sudden. It's so sudden, but then it makes a lot of perfect sense. That's why it makes that scene funny.
And
And I
from
just
there we
repeat that.
transition over to Taki then, but however it's not Taki, it is Mitsuha waking up as Taki. Which is literally her falling off the bed.
I mean, come on. All of us have done that once in our life.
Speak for yourself.
Alright?
Try falling in a gap between your bed and your shelf and falling asleep suspended mid-air for half an hour. Try that shit and then come back and talk to me.
Haha! Lucky I don't have any of that. I sleep on the floor.
That I don't know whether that just sounds depressing or not. Anyways,
Anyways, as you are saying,
As we were saying, she wakes up in Taki's body and as expected, she is freaking out based on the fact that she realized she now has a dick. Which
you know you can phrase it a lot better. But okay, let's continue.
bro,
I mean, it literally shows
context.
it,
I mean,
it shows her like
She is curious. She is curious, but context, please.
okay, my bad. I mean, it doesn't help because she like touches it and she freaking becomes like what? She freaking resembles molten iron.
Bro,
That's it.
she freaking was blushing like hell.
Yeah, she looked like molten iron straight out of the blast furnace.
No, bloody hell, as red as a goddamn tomato, you know? King tomato.
I mean, she's probably not used to morning wood, so yeah, let's forgive her for that. Oh yeah, here's a fun fact. From what I remember, the father of Taki is voiced by the same voice actor as Kakashi from Naruto. So that's a little Easter egg right there.
You mean the voice actor is Ryunosuke Kamiki?
No, that was my bad because that's actually Taki's voice actor.
Yeah.
And this leads to the next part where he gets dressed and heads for school as most teenagers do, but he does a great job insinuating the feminine elements that Mitsuha brings to the table because it can be noted that he actually he actually used words as watashi, which is a more feminine way of saying I, to watakushi, which is rarely used nowadays. It's mainly used in business, to be honest, for formality
It
reasons.
depends. As I said, Japan language is rather complicated as there's many ways to say I. So there's
Yeah.
watashi, there's watashiwa, there's
It went
omae.
from,
Wait, no, that's a different one.
It went from watashi to watakushi to boku, which is a more masculine way to say it. But
Yeah.
apparently, Taki is more rough around the edges, and he eventually gets it right by referring to himself, or rather herself, as Ore.
Mhm.
But prior to that, there's a scene which really brings a smile on my face, and that's when on the way to school, Mitsuha is astonished because, I mean, come on, she's finally in Tokyo. Who wouldn't be happy? But yeah, the voice actor of Taki's father is
Naruto.
Kazuhiko Inoue.
So Naruto.
No, that's the voice actor's name.
Oh.
Stop being a prick.
I don't even know I don't even know the voice actor names, alright?
Yes, shut up. I'm the only one that bothers to even search for it.
Bro, the only voice actor I can recall is freaking James Frank Woods.
Okay, I don't give a shit who's that.
I mean, not James Frank, I mean, wait. James Stevens.
But back to the point about Taki's voice actor, Ryunosuke Kamiki, I feel that like he has done a brilliant job at trying to convey femininity because it shows he was stumbling with his words. So I mean, not every day you see a male character doing the trying to figure out what's the correct word to refer to himself as. I mean, most of the time the male protagonist is quite established already. So that's something new I got to see from this movie. And I mean, it's even better when she finds out that they are going to a cafe. I mean, she just like freaks out on the fact that they're going to a cafe.
It's also rather hilarious in hindsight because remember a few points ago we have Tessie's recommending them to go to a cafe, right? But
Yeah.
instead it's a vending machine. Now when Mitsuha is in Tokyo,
Actual cafe.
she managed to get into an actual cafe, which also as after that she starts to buy a bit too much and drills a hole into Taki's wallet.
I mean, it's hilarious because she shouts out. I think unknowingly she shouted out, "I could live for a month for the prices of these pancakes." And this really shows the difference between the city life and the countryside life, where cost of living is much different.
Because most of the time the city has lower prices, whereas the country, the countryside usually have lower prices, but the city usually have a bit more higher prices. It's a standard of living. So it makes sense for her to be surprised about how she can live for a month with this money.
I mean, that's true, but
Mm.
the follow-up is even better where Mitsuha realizes that she has to work. So she's like, oh crap, where do I work at?
Remember beforehand that she thinks she's still in a dream.
Yeah, she still thinks she's in a dream, which is
Yeah.
hilarious. And it absolutely caused her to go crazy on the pancakes.
Uh-huh. In the end, she has to pay for all that later. Which makes it hilarious. All the more.
I mean, like at this point, right? I think she eventually finds where Taki actually works at,
Mm-hmm.
and he's absolutely fumbling everything. He's just fumbling it, and Gordon Ramsay will absolutely kill him at this rate.
Yeah.
I mean, and we
He'll probably, if he was Gordon Ramsay, he'll do this. He'll grab 2 sandwiches, slap it on his head, and ask, "What are you?"
what are you? An idiot sandwich.
Ah.
Okay, so at this point, she does get to her cafe. She does get to the restaurant that Taki is working his part-time job at. So right now, we get to see him fumbling around as he's trying to figure out as she is trying to figure out what he's going to do. And also, there's another Easter egg. There's also another Easter egg. If I'm not wrong, the restaurant name is also a reference to the movie Garden of Words as well. I'm not too sure about that, but from my research, it says that from my research, it does show that it translates to Garden of Words, so which is another neat Easter egg. I only caught this on my third viewing, to be honest.
To be honest, I really didn't see it. I didn't really notice that part.
I mean, I had to do a bit of research and even listen into other people's podcasts to actually figure out the Easter egg. So yeah, I don't blame you. It's really under the radar.
It really depends on how one could have seen it.
Yeah, and I remember there's one scene where I think this like street thug was trying to get a free meal, so she set it up where he was like, oh, there's a toothpick in our pizza. And from there, things sort of escalated, but thankfully, Miss Okudera, Taki senpai stepped in and intervened and prevent the situation from escalating further. However, that eventually led to her skirt getting slashed by a penknife by the thug, which gave us a chance to better see Mitsuha's feminine side as well as understand her personality better, because we get the scene where it's quite funny because we get the scene where Taki helps Okudera to sew her slash skirt.
To be honest, that scene is a bit funny because when Mitsuha pulled Okubara away and told her to bring down her skirt, her reaction is the whole context is a bit hilarious. Because to Mitsuha, it's a girl on girl. But what she still clearly doesn't realize is that she is in a boy's body. So, it led to a bit of awkward things. If you get what I mean.
I mean, when a guy asks a girl to strip, we all know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
We shall not go into detail.
But it's still hilarious.
I mean, we also get, also from the dialogue between Okudera and Mitsuha, we also get a chance to better understand Taki as a person, because Okudera has mentioned that Taki is weak but quick-tempered, as she signals to that bandage on his face. I mean, based on that, we can assume that he might have gotten a scuffle earlier on, which is very evident based on what Okudera has described of him. But let's move on from that. So what happens? I mean, the consequences of Mitsuha's time in Taki's body and her body is Taki and his other co-workers as well as Yotsuha. I mean, Taki's co-workers were a little upset with Taki because
I mean, they all have a crush on Okubera.
Okudera, bro.
I can't pronounce Japanese names. I'm
Then
sorry
just say
for
senpai.
butchering the
Then
names,
just
alright?
then just say senpai. Then
Okay. Alright, whatever. So
okay.
it is a bit hilarious because before when all his colleagues asked this time around Taki about what happened, it's hilarious because to them they think Taki is gaining an advantage on Okudera over them on Okudera one because you don't know all the colleagues likes Okudera.
I mean, a senpai that pretty, I don't get it why no one would like her.
Yeah, true. So the whole scene is a bit amusing since it's a pretty much well-known cliche among
Among anime viewers and the like.
yeah.
So from Taki's colleagues being upset with him to the next scene after Mitsuha wakes up to saying Yotsuba isn't groping herself that day. I mean, it shows like how them switching in each other bodies like affects their life and the people around them, which is further enhanced by the fact that which is further what was that again? Which brings us back to the point that you mentioned briefly about Taki's friend making fun of him. And him like questioning whether did they play a prank on him or something. Which eventually, after seeing him confronted by his peers, it starts to go to the Zen Zen Sense montage, where they are literally like where just them trying to navigate how to live their life in each other's body, and it leads to them setting rules and reports. A good example would be like Taki cannot take bus as Mitsuhara. No ogling or groping. And Taki saying that Mitsuha in his body should talk without the dialect and stop wasting his money and not be late for work. Okay, now we are okay. Actually, hold on. We might this part the first act might be too short actually because I'm already finishing the notes already.
Just stick to it. We don't want to make last minute changes.
Okay. However, even though they have set rules for each other, I mean, the montage also shows that Taki they are also doing things they shouldn't have done in each other's body, like Taki playing basketball without wearing any underwear and getting all the guys' attention in the gym after taking a jump shot where I mean Mitsuha's chest starts bouncing. And it's also further emphasized with the scene where someone shouts at him, watch the skirt. And also leads on to the part where he's supposed to do the braided cord. Whereas Mitsuha just complains that Taki works too hard, or rather works too much. Which is also followed up by the iconic scene. I think this is the most iconic scene. The part where they're writing words like baka on their face and aho, which both stands for the word idiot. But after the montage, it can be stated that yes, they do start to gain some respect for each other as individuals because Taki actually wakes up in her body again and says that he shouldn't touch it, he shouldn't touch the chest for her. But I mean, come on, he still does it anyways. But it can be stated that when they were in each other body, they did affect each other quite a lot because Mitsuha got him closer to the senpai, and if I'm not wrong, I think Taki made an actual like wooden bench and stuff at the vending machine, as well as gotten Mitsuha a lot of attention, albeit unwanted, or wanted. So it is around here after the montage, uh, where we are introduced to the soundtrack Katawari Doki, which is uh which is I think a prelude to the actual meaning of Katawari Doki, which means a twilight in layman's terms. Because this is the day that they go to the Miyamizu shrine to offer the Kuchikami sake they made at the was it a festival? Barry?
I
No,
think
wait.
I was about to say I think Barry might have died.
I'm sorry. My body is shutting down on me, damn it.
Barry, stay awake, please. Do you want
Sorry,
to?
my body is shutting. Wait, what part are we talking about?
We're talking about the part where they are on the way to the Miyamizu shrine.
Oh, the mountain now.
Yeah, yeah. So if I'm not wrong, the Kuchikami sake they chewed it. Was it at a festival, or was it something else?
Wait, what? The sake ah?
Yeah, it was at a festival, right?
Yeah, the sake was from a festival.
Okay.
The one where they chew the rice and spit it into the
Yeah,
wooden
yeah,
box.
yeah.
If I recall correctly, yes, it should be that one.
Okay, okay. Just checking because I didn't really take note about when it was put in my notes. So yeah. So eventually they do arrive at the Kuchikami. I mean at the Miyamizu shrine to offer the Kuchikami sake. However, that if I'm not wrong, I think the scene changes because at that very moment, it cuts to Taki on his bed. It cuts to Taki on a date with the senpai that Mitsuha has set him up. I mean,
Okudera, right?
yes. I mean, who the hell needs a wingman when you have a wingman that can literally travel through time?
Mitsuha best wingman.
Yes. And I mean, Mitsuha is literally taking the piss out of him. Like she literally left behind links where it's like even you can get a girlfriend with these 5 tips and other links that are similar to that. And if I'm not wrong, it's roughly around here that the body swap stops, because from here on out we do not exactly see any more body swapping
swap.
action.
Yeah, because that you can know something has happened.
Yes, it's there's a sudden shift in tone of in the movie. So yeah.
Yeah.
And because it so happens that on Taki's date with the senpai, they went to if I'm not wrong, it was a modern art gallery or something along the legs of it.
It's the nostalgia gallery where
The
they
nostalgia
were
gallery.
looking at old photos
And
the photos
apparently,
makes you feel nostalgia.
yeah, and apparently one of the videos, not videos, my bad. One of the pictures he saw was
The mountain.
the big lake at the center of Itomori.
Yeah, that one.
So I guess this is a very subtle piece of foreshadowing that sort of says that maybe he isn't maybe there's something off because why would a picture of a existing area be in a nostalgia gallery? So I guess it is really at around this scene where we can take it as the body swapping has officially stopped. Because in a later scene, yeah, we can assume that this is where the first act stops. So, Zheng Yu, Barry, do you have anything else to say? Anything else? Any bad points? Any interesting points to say about the first act?
Wait, what part are we at? What part are we at now?
We are at the end of the first act, so
Which is around where?
41 minutes.
41 minutes. Let me double check. Oh, yeah, after the date.
After the date.
To be honest, I really don't have anything to add.
I mean, from the first act, I mean, I do have some stuff to
Most
nit.
of my points are usually in the later movie because the first few movies, not the first few movies. The first few points in a movie is more like building up the story.
Yeah. I mean,
Because most of my notes are for the later parts in the movie.
okay. I feel you. So right now I'm just gonna go into some details I found bad about the movie. I mean bad about the first act. Sorry. The fact that it started off with the monologue. I mean, come on, we don't need to hear a monologue about two people talking about how they have a piece of them missing, as well as that monologue being indirectly about themselves, which is further worsened by the fact that the over reliance of music at the start of the movie itself makes it feel like more of an OVA rather than a actual movie. And the fact that there's the montage sequence with the dream lantern at the start is just a glorified credit scene, credit sequence story. And I don't understand what's the point of Mitsuha calling out to Taki as she wakes up. I mean, what's up with that? And the fact that they keep explaining Musubi over and over throughout the movie, even though I know it's foreshadowing and it links to the red string of fate thing, but I mean, there's no need to over explain it. But to add on, I have some interesting points and my own personal opinion. The interesting point is that they are heavily using the red string of fate trope that we see very commonly in anime. So even though it's heavily used, but I've never seen them use it as an actual plot point. Usually they just use it as like a way to push harem protagonist to like one of the girls. And I mean, the movie also does a really good job at showing the stark contrast between a big city life and a small town life with the renting of Mitsuha and Sayaka. And it's interesting that exposition isn't overly utilized because it only comes from one character. It doesn't come from every character in the show. And I mean, we have grandma exposition for a reason. And the concept of Kuchikami sake, I mean, would any of you drink Kuchikami sake? Would any of you drink Kuchikami sake if given the chance?
This will sound weird, but if it's only for my girlfriend, anyone else, that's just weird.
Okay, we get it. You're freaking hand-packed, alright? Okay, I get it.
No, I'm being in like a serious scenario. Like legitimately, like not trying to like show off or anything. Legitimately in that scenario, that's the only person I'll be okay with. Everyone else, it just feels weird. Like you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, yeah, like yeah.
Barry, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still with you guys.
Okay, so I asked, would you take Kuchikami sake if given the chance?
What?
Would you drink the Kuchikami sake if given the chance?
You are talking about the century-year-old Kuchisake, right?
The one that they freaking like.
In the cave, right?
Yeah, in the cave.
To be honest, honestly, for my body, no. No.
Damn.
I have a very weak
Now you
stomach.
guys making me feel bad because I would absolutely try it. Like, I'll give it a shot.
That for me is more of like my medical condition. I really don't want to drink something that might kill my stomach.
Okay,
I
what
mean,
then,
it's
then?
such-
Then, if it's not like medical condition, would you?
If it is not too old, then perhaps I'll try out.
I mean, usually when it comes to like hard liquor, the longer it ages, the better.
Yeah lah, but as I said, this was left in a cave for some time already.
Okay, and the movie was left for not more than a decade.
You have already have moss and algae growing on
That's
it.
only on the outside though.
Yeah, but then as I said, I still will not dare to drink it.
Okay.
The last time I drank something that looks cleaner, I managed to get food poisoning. So yeah.
Yeah,
this
I
is
was about to say basically this is PTSD from his from drinking
This is
algae from
something
his.
this is something that I really don't want to get myself.
Okay, give me the context when we're done recording.
Why not we just go with it now because people won't understand what the hell is happening.
Yeah.
Rough summary of the context. Basically, Barry took a really old bottle that he uses, and he didn't realize there was algae growing at the bottom because it was like a metal, basically a complete metal flask. I think was it.
No, it was not. It was a plastic flask.
Yeah, plastic flask. But you couldn't see into it, so it was basically you couldn't see what's inside. And he was drinking from that for like a good half a year. I think 6 months.
No, I think it's slightly more than that.
Yeah, for like that long, and like basically every other week he was sick from like food poisoning, and then only after that long he realized that there was algae at the bottom.
I'm surprised your body held up that long. I'm
Jeez.
surprised you didn't get hospitalized, bro. Honestly speaking.
Bro,
He
my
almost
stomach
did.
is weak, but then my
I mean,
stomach
I
is
got-
weak and all, but then my constitution is a lot more stronger than that, bro.
I mean, I got hospitalized for a literal salmonella infection, so yeah.
Yeah, you make a point.
Okay, moving on. It's really interesting that because they were switching bodies in the first act, they had to learn mannerisms and etiquette of the opposite gender. And and also it's also interesting because I mean imagine a girl acting like a guy in a Japanese society. I'm pretty sure that wouldn't mix well with the general public. Now moving on to my personal opinion of the first act. I mean it as we mentioned before, it's funny how at the start Taki was watching this so-called phenomenon that was like casted all over the news and social media in the anime. But when he was actually witnessing it, he was inadvertently witnessing the death of his future girlfriend. Honestly speaking, in my personal opinion, you put me in the restaurant that he was working in, and goddamn, I'm gonna be a freaking wreck. I'm gonna be running over the place like a headless chicken, mate. And I mean, the Dream Lanterns montage at the start was also a pretty good foreshadowing of the movie. It sort of showed the growth sequence of the characters, which we actually get to witness going on in the movie. But most notably for me, we get to see we get to understand the characters very well because Tachi at this point is just resigned to fate because at the Kuchikami sake scene, people are asking him, do the gods even like sake that is chewed up? He just said, just roll with it. His message to the girls practically just roll with it. And he just listens to the girls run over and over and over again. He's the literal meaning, he's the embodiment of the phrase resigned to fate. And we also learned that Taki is a very scrappy person because, I mean, look at how his senpai tries to cover up for him, knowing that if she didn't, something was probably gonna happen. But that was when Mitsuha was in his body, of course, because he he felt that she was having a lucid dream of sorts where she could control the variables of the dream. Oh yeah, very.
Huh?
Do you notice at the scene where Mitsuha asked Onodera to take off her skirt, that
Yes.
she actually sewed on a pattern with a flower.
Yeah, that
With
one. I know.
flowers
The
and a hedgehog.
butterflies with the flower and the grass,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Let me
That,
guess.
that,
That's
that,
a
like,
reference to something, right?
no, it's not. It's just I just found it amusing because from Onodera's point of view, Okudera, sorry, not Onodera. I was thinking of Nisekoi all of a sudden. My bad. Uh, Okudera, from her point of view, it's your scrappy Kohai freaking sewing up your rib skirt because some asshole tries to freaking like get an upskirt for free. I mean,
It is a bit amusing, but do know that it is still Mitsuha in Taki's body. So, in her point of view, she feels like sewing up a nice pattern is because do know she does need she does threading a lot during her in a village, right? So, as probably a force of habit, she makes a nice pattern for Okudera.
as a force of habit, yes.
Yeah, it's a force of habit. Come on,
And I
muscle
mean,
memory, man. You should
I
know
mean,
lah. When I
yeah,
play video games, that's always happens one. The controls are completely off. I take time to remaster the
yep,
movements.
yep,
It's the same way lah.
yeah. I understand. I mean, it also can be, and it's also interesting because at the first twilight scene of the movie, on their way to Shrine Miyamizu, uh, on the way to the shrine,
Yeah.
at the first twilight scene, Grandma Exposition, otherwise known as Grandma Miyamizu,
Mhm.
also see she sees Taki in Mitsuha's body.
Oh, you mean like she noticed that it
Yeah,
is
she noticed that it was Taki in her body.
because don't know that their family deals in fate or something like
I
this.
mean, I
Their
guess
family,
they are linked to this sort of like divine intervention or rather divine type of stuff.
yeah.
And when
Oh.
it cuts over to the date scene,
Mm.
it also like it shows that when he was at the date, Mitsuha was on the way to Tokyo in the past, and she started crying, which was quite interesting. And the best part is that in the present where he was on the date with Okudera, for once a movie with characters that aren't 2D because Okudera actually notices that the body language of Taki sort of like alludes to the fact that he sort of likes someone else. So after the date, Taki actually tries contacting Mitsuha but is unable to contact her. The telephone company says that the user is not online or available.
Mhm. This also like foreshadows something what.
Yeah.
Like as it cause the first thing is not that they were constantly messaging themselves through the notes app, right?
Mm.
Eh? And when,
And it's also
Taki decides to call Mitsuha, you suddenly the phone doesn't exist, which kind of makes sense because it was obliterated.
true. And it's also interesting that Kashi being the typical guy, when he saw Mitsuha with cut hair, he he immediately asked if it was a breakup. So yeah, all these little details are what really made the first act quite enjoyable for me. But of course, the second and third act, as you said, is that there's more content to go on in the second and third act.
Mhm.
Here we play off at the second act. The second act is when Taki tries to contact Mitsuha after the date, but he is unable to. And at the exact moment, the body switching also stops. Barry, do you have anything in particular you want to say towards the,
Yeah.
the second act?
I have one thing that every time I watch this scene, I have one question about something. Why they are using smartphone, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes, yes, yeah.
here's the thing. How come they didn't realize the year was different? As in, when you turn on your smartphone, what is the first thing you see? The date, right? Okay. So if they and do know that they both use different phones, so how did they not realize that their date and year was different?
Wasn't Mitsuha in rural Japan? So I don't think she had a phone, did she?
No, she
No,
had. She
no,
had.
but to be honest, right? I think this is just a plot hole that you have seen because
So like a forgot, like getting you when the director forgot some minor details.
it's either that or it's meant or okay for because with a movie like your name lah,
Mhm.
it can be taken one of two ways lah. Either it's just an unintentional plot hole or it's just left in on purpose. I mean, literally, this isn't something that occurs naturally. Who the fuck switches body with a girl that's
Yeah,
3 years
true lah.
ago?
Yeah, that
So-
makes sense.
Yes. And also like I'm rewatching that scene right now where he's looking at his phone now. And all it just shows right is hold on, his phone just shows at timestamp 41 minutes 28 seconds. All it just shows is the date October 2nd. There is no mention of the year.
No, but even so, they should have noticed something is wrong, one. Because if
Like I said, I feel that it's more of like they left it in on purpose.
yeah lah, true lah, that makes sense lah.
Yeah lah, because I mean you're switching bodies through time, so it might be those sort of like time
Or
dilation sort of stuff.
Or it might also be a more akin to, could be like the forgetting these type of details since we
Yeah.
after all we are dealing with something more akin to time travel.
This is like sort of time travel, but sort of not.
It's something like time travel if you look at it, it is in a sense time travel, just not in the mainstream way of time travel where a person uses a machine.
I mean, at least it isn't as bad as the time travel logic used in Back to the Future.
Yeah, we don't use those time travel logic just because it is in a sense BS.
So, anything to add on?
Nothing.
Okay. So I'm going on to my points. What I like about the second act is that even though you see they can't contact each other, or rather Taki can't contact Mitsuha, right? He had a very smooth transition over to Mitsuha talking to her friends about the festival. And apparently she has skipped school, which is later revealed that she went to Tokyo to find Taki, even though it was technically speaking, it was 3 years in the past and Taki was probably still in middle school. That's
No,
kind
I feel like to me it looks more like they were around the same age lah. For me,
no. If I'm not wrong, because Taki in the show, it shows him 2 years after after the events of the movie, which makes he's looking for a job. What?
Yeah.
So assuming that his high school, assuming his high school is, assuming that is his third year in high school, right? And then 2 years of college, then he's out for a job. So that means 3 years ago, right? Do the math properly first.
5 years.
5 years ago, that means he probably would have been middle school on the way to high school.
That will be around how old? 15, right?
I think so around there should be.
I mean, all countries have different school system lah. So it
is what it is.
Yeah.
So that means high school Mitsuha was looking for a little kid Taki in Tokyo. Which also leads to the montage of them trying to figure out, and eventually leads to him going on
a journey.
No, it starts off with a huge drawing spree in his room.
Oh yeah, the drawing spree. Yeah,
the drawing spree. To be honest, I think this sort of illustrates Shinkai's drawing ability to a T, because I mean, look at how detailed the drawing is.
And furthermore, he is drawing it via or in a sense memories. Do know he's using details from Mitsuha point of view.
or rather his time in Mitsuha, whatever he
his
can
time
remember.
So in a sense, it is pretty skillful. After all, art, you know how most of us are terrible at art, right? So while I'm not one to judge, I can tell that he is a very skillful artist.
I mean, I guess we could say he's a skillful artist because most of the pictures that he draw are, I would say, a one-to-one, just that it's on paper and not on a canvas.
Yeah. But it is really nice drawing. He is drawing during his time as Mitsuha.
Yeah, this is nothing but I would say I can't even draw half as good as he is. Unless you ask me to draw like an engineering drawing, then I might be able to forcefully produce something.
I can only draw a stick, man.
Okay, we get it. You're shit at drawing.
Language. There are children watching.
Language, I'm
Probably
editing
not.
this.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever.
Please.
Give me a bit of leeway, alright?
No, we can't. We
Fine.
can't.
Fine.
Oh,
Continue.
come on.
Please.
Okay. So with that concluded, with the montage concluded, Taki decides to head to Itomori to find Mitsuha.
Or more akin that he doesn't know if it was Itomori yet. He's more akin to finding the town of where Mitsuha lives.
And to his surprise, he is greeted by two of his friends at the train station. Okudera Senpai, sorry.
Yeah.
Keep on saying Onodera by accident. This
Okudera.
isn't the Nissan episode. Okudera Senpai and his friend Tsukasa, I think. Is it Tsukasa? Yeah, it is Tsukasa. And then they start traveling on the bullet train to Itomori, and to which Tsukasa thinks that he is going to Itomori to meet a girl he met online.
Wait, was it actually part of the... I completely missed that part, really?
I'm not sure. I can't recall also.
What's the name? Okudera was like, oh, I see you're going to the countryside to meet an online friend.
Oh my god.
Oh, legit. Oh, it was like that. Also, do know that. I want to know about something. The fact that Taki's friends, one of them decides to follow on his journey to find the girl. And his other friend, the bigger one, who is he? What is his name again?
Let me check. Hold on. Let me check his name because I'm not too sure what's his name. Hold on. To be honest, they didn't actually talk about his name. Takagi, I think.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, that guy maybe.
The big guy with the center parting.
Yeah. He decides to also help cover Taki's shift while Taki is out. If you do know that.
Friendly he is, man.
Yeah, they are like the three of them. You can tell from this point that the three of them are very close together.
And meanwhile, we are more likely to kill each other as to help each other out.
You make a point.
Am I right?
You make a point. And that's why I wonder why I'm still working with you guys.
I shall neither confirm nor deny anything.
You know that's the truth. Come on. We know
man.
you hate us.
I shall neither confirm nor deny anything.
And that's why we're helping each other in this BS.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on before we actually attempt to kill each other.
I mean, I'm at home. I don't know where the fuck you guys are.
Language, my friend. Language.
I'm on Mars.
There you are.
And I'm your anus. I'm at your anus, you know.
That was unnecessary.
I'm saying Uranus. What are you talking about?
The
planet Uranus.
I'm going to slap you the second I see you in school, Barry.
But I think and Barry goes to the same school. I'm waiting for my results right now, so yeah.
Just to probably meet us at our school.
Yeah, man. What a
If you
disappointment.
don't mind Tuesday, I can give Barry a slap.
Okay, back on topic.
Okay, back on track. Okay, so Okudera says that he's meeting an online friend, and then Tsukasa has his doubts saying that it's a con act, and also says that he thinks he met her through a dating site.
It's still hilarious though. But it is true. After all, many people has been dumped that way in real life.
I mean,
So it makes sense for them to be worried about Taki.
to a certain extent, yeah, it could have been a scam,
Mm-hmm.
but in this case,
Yeah, in this case, Taki's knows what's happening.
I mean, it's kind of hard to explain that. Oh, I body swap with this girl.
Yeah, exactly. So
and as that girl, I have easily made most guys and girls at her school fall for me.
yes, that's why. It's a bit hard to explain that.
I feel like the fact how just because of basketball, he got all the guys ogling at her though.
Yeah, I know. Oogling at her. Because he decides not to wear a breast. What am I even
Wear a
talking about?
breast, go
I
on.
mean, wear a bra. Wear a bra. Sorry, man. I'm not a woman. Sorry.
You're freaking tripping, bro.
How
You
high
make
are
it sound
you?
like
I'm high on water.
That's worrying.
Are you sure water is not code for vodka?
Jokes that I cannot put in this video. That one.
No, man. It's not. It's called ice.
Ah, yes, ice, sure. Frozen vodka. Okay.
Oh my.
Yes. Yes. Bro, you have to cut this whole point out. Seriously. All
This,
this
this is going downhill. It's only been 15 minutes.
you really have to cut this whole point out.
This
Okay,
is going downhill. It's been 15 minutes.
as you're saying, I'm not high. I'm merely very tired. It is like 10 in the night, and I want to sleep.
10 in the night.
And in the night, yes, English 100. Okay,
Yes.
moving on.
Moving on. Before we actually attempt to kill each other yet again.
We do not need to restate the fact multiple times.
Yes, we have to remind ourselves multiple times before we attempt to kill ourselves.
I'm actually gonna slap you the next time I see you.
Guys, back on topic.
Okay,
You best be glad you're not a midget that can shove your head into a sand and watch you kick it. Well, and watch your freaking like short legs kick in the air.
this is funny, annoying you guys.
Okay, back to topic.
Back to
again.
topic. Yes.
So on the train, they just do very typical traveling stuff and eating, drinking on the way, talking about why he's going there to find some girl that apparently no longer exists.
Yeah, to be honest, that's pretty sad.
I
and
mean,
depressing.
it doesn't help that his friend's a huge dickhead because he should have just called him a lousy tour planner.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, you must admit it is a rather lousy plan. After all, all they have is a picture, is a drawing of an area.
I mean, based on the fact that his friend volunteered to come along makes him like a bigger dickhead. I
True.
mean, it was
True.
supposed to be a one-man adventure. And
Yeah.
he's like, nah, we think it's a sham. We'll follow you.
I'm actually you think about it. Isn't it even more awkward if like the asteroid didn't hit Itomori and she was still alive?
Yeah, that would be even more awkward. Like, okay, fan fiction writers out there, make a story like that.
No. No.
Yes,
No.
yes,
No.
yes,
No.
yes.
No.
I'm gonna continue now.
I have an idea of how to fix that. Okay, let's go.
Even though they arrive near what is Itomori, there's the little cow mascot. And they're just like fangirling over it. It's just like, oh my god, it's so cute.
Yep.
I mean, it's an animatronic. How cute could it be? It's not like there's a person inside. Thing.
After all, you don't want another bite of 87, man.
But I mean,
I think-
I find it like interesting how he just goes around asking like random people, "Do you know where this place is?" and just hands them a fucking drawing of what used to be Itomori.
I mean, what does he think he's gonna get? Oh, I know. It is over there. Too bad an asteroid has hit it though.
We're making it sound like Dora the Explorer. No, we're gonna get copyrighted by that.
How are we gonna get copyrighted? I never watched
It's-
Dora for damn long.
It's Dora the Explorer. What are you expecting?
No, legit, I actually never watched that movie for them. I mean, never watched that show for so long. I remember how it works.
Okay, never mind then.
I genuinely do not remember how it works.
Bless your soul.
So the next part, Taki and the gang arrives at a ramen shop,
Mhm.
and then they are considering going back to Tokyo because
You can't find anything.
Taki just says, "Screw it, I'm not gonna bother finding anymore." It feels like he's quote unquote barking up the wrong tree, quote unquote.
Mhm.
Until he takes out the drawing,
Of
And then-
Itomori.
and then somehow, some way, the
By
wife
some magical miracle.
magical miracle that is cinema magic.
It's
The
called
ramen-
plot.
Yeah, it's called plot armor.
No, it's
How
not
is it?
plot armor. This is called plot. It must
Okay.
be because of the plot.
Okay, I get it.
Mhm.
So basically, the ramen shop owner's wife recognizes it as Itomori.
Mhm. Because her husband is from Itomori.
Used to be from Itomori before the comet strike.
Born in Itomori.
Okay, fair enough. Same. And the best part is that he doesn't exactly remember the fact that. I mean, shit gets serious when he said he wanted to go to Itomori, and the
Mhm.
old guy opened his eyes. You know when the one line eye, the line
Yeah,
eye
I
gag
know.
opened
You
his
know, like
eyes.
characters like those stuff either from other anime, those stuff
Yes,
female with the
yes.
ara.
Yes.
Yes, shit gets down when they decide to open their eyes.
Yes. At least it doesn't have that rock from Pokemon feel where his eyes just become such shape every time he sees a freaking girl.
Yeah, true.
God damn, that's the definition of a sim right there.
Yep, a simp. Simp.
So,
Okay, moving on.
Yes.
Yes, we know.
So the ramen shop owner drives the three of them up to what was previously known as Itomori.
Yes, before the comic
Where-
hit.
They start at the high
Uh,
school, remember correctly, right?
No, it's not at the high school, yeah. So it was basically they just arrived at whatever that was left of a town that was whatever that is left of a town now. I mean, and to be honest, I don't really want to say this, but damn, I've never seen like such a pretty destruction before.
Have you seen the KT extinction?
What's that?
Oh my god, you not the event that killed off the dinosaurs.
Oh, wait, I didn't know it's called KT extinction.
Cretaceous. Wait, what was it called? What was it, Barry? Cretaceous, what?
There's what I said KT extinction.
Yeah, what does it stand for?
Let me try to recall again. It's been so long since I read it.
It's just Cretaceous tertiary.
No, I don't think so.
No,
Actually,
it is.
It is, yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, the Cretaceous Paleogene extinction event, also known as
Okay.
the KT event.
Okay,
We're
let's
not
move
here
on.
for history lesson. We're not here for natural history lesson.
No, I'm a dinosaur geek. You will let me say no, JK.
If he had continued, I would be kicking out Discord call right now.
Okay, moving on.
The next time I see you, I'm gonna make sure I have like a 25-meter roll of duct tape with me. You're gonna become a cocoon hanging from the ceiling by the time I'm
No,
done with you.
I'm gonna become a mummy.
Okay.
Okay.
A duct
So-
tape mummy.
So apparently you have a thing for not breathing.
Yes.
I mean, this part is when the spookiness of the situation sort of sets in. I mean, like literally, what's that called? What's it called? He goes to whatever remains of the high school. Wait, the high school was the high
The
school.
high school is still the high school is untouched. It's like the thing below the high school is all vaporized. It's just one
Okay.
big lake over there.
I mean, to be honest, right, it would have been quite spooky to imagine you're switching place with a dead guy.
I mean,
Or rather, a dead girl.
a dead city lah. I mean, after all, look, it's like what used to be a bustling town, and now it's just a lake. There's nothing there. It is like a ghost town now. Just that there's no town there. It's just
Was that an
water.
indirect Call of Duty reference?
Let's move
Okay, never
on.
Yep. So at this point, he starts investigating what happened to Itomori. So he starts reading about the various articles in magazines and whatnot.
Wait, can I ask you something? Remember that
Sure.
one scene where Taki was adamant that he still remembers Mitsuha, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then when he whips out his phone, all the thing about Mitsuha starts disappearing.
Memo.
Yeah, all the memos. Why did he do that?
I mean, he wanted to show that, like, it wasn't him just like losing his shit.
Yeah. But now
mean,
it looks like he's
okay,
losing his shit lah.
Yeah.
Huh.
It had the reverse effect, in fact.
Yeah, I mean that makes him look like he needs a psychiatrist. No, not a psychiatrist, a mental hospital.
At this point, I don't know. Shinkai has a way of playing off this sort of shit quite well, to be honest.
Yep.
Okay, so we continue. We pick up at the library where he's reading articles about the whole Comet incident.
And also he's also sifting through the victims of
the victims list, and then to his
horror.
To his horror, he finds
Mitsuha's name.
Esti and Sayaka along with
Mitsuha.
hold on, Mitsuha, Yotsuha, and not sure what's the grandmother's name.
No, I'm not sure. I don't think the grandmother had a name.
No,
had her name. Oh,
her name is because her family name is in order of the kanji 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I can't remember what the grandmother's name.
Yeah.
But all I know is that Mitsuha, Yotsuha, and the grandmother was recorded as as some of the many casualties sustained that day.
Golf power no.
Okay, moving on.
No, to be honest, I feel like this scene is pretty chilling. Because you see, to those who might have loved one who passed away, this is rather perhaps one of the saddest scenes I've ever seen. Like two friends away from each other, and then suddenly one of them decides to stop talking. Of course, when you notice their name on the death certificate, it really is a bit chilling,
Yeah. To be honest, when I first watched this scene straight up gave me goosebumps. Next scene is quite shit. It is a bit sad for me because it takes place at what looks like a motel, to be honest. And then
it is a motel.
And then we see Okudera smoking, and goddamn, I didn't know Okudera did that. Okay, moving on.
Oh my god, wait the priorities.
I mean, what do you expect?
Adults have their priorities, man. Adults love to smoke.
I mean, what do you expect? Freaking Okudera and Yukata smoking, goddamn. Okay, moving on. So in this case, it's just some small talk between Tsukasa and
Okudera
about the recent changes in Taki and his behavior. And it is here that she revealed that she liked the version of Taki with Mitsuha inside of him instead of Taki.
Because in a sense, now, hello.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought my headphones just decided to cut off.
No.
Yeah. So because to Okudera, I think from her point of view, it's pretty amusing to see.
I mean, Scrappy Junior suddenly become like some like very tender guy, like soft,
feminine dude.
Very feminine dude. Knows how to sew and shit like that.
So I feel like it's pretty amusing.
Yeah, I mean, it would be amusing.
I mean, like remember like there's a few scenes ago, who is that? Who is he again? Who is the friend?
Tsukasa.
Yeah, Tsukasa. There's this few scene. He's like, I like the other Taki more or something like this. I can't recall what happened. But this is to me.
I'm pretty sure it's not this scene. It's
I mean, a few scenes before this scene.
I'm not sure about that, but whatever. Okay.
But it's amusing lah. I just want to point it out.
Yeah.
Because like really, just imagine a guy you know normally is a bit more like straightforward, brash, straightforward, reckless like this, right?
Yeah.
This guy, he decides to change into such a feminine voice, not a feminine personality.
Watashi.
Watashi? Watashi wa?
Watashi? Boku? Yeah. Ore.
Ah, yes.
Okay. So
As we were saying,
we pick up at Taki absolutely like shitting his pants because he was like, oh no, it was all a dream. It's everything's a lie.
Hmm.
That sounds like me at this point. Oh Christ.
yeah, what a depressing thought, man. Do you need help?
I already got help. Taking antidepressants right now.
Ah, so you don't need help, alright.
Okay, yes, I don't need help. Okay, so apparently he kept on doing his research through the night, and even into the morning where he eventually locates the location of the
Trying.
Miyamizu Shrine. After having a discussion with Okudera about about braided cords with Okudera, he sort of remembers the Miyamizu Shrine. So he sets out to locate it, and eventually he gets the rough coordinates marked on the map. I think he marked it around the top left corner of what is supposedly the map of Itomori before the combat. And so he sets off in the morning with the help of the
ramen uncle.
The ramen uncle, yes. I mean, you can see how much you can see how much the town meant to him, because the old man said that, number one, the drawing was good. And he said that and he also thanked him for the drawing. I mean, this emotion from just a side character is like
pretty strong.
It shows that Itomori was more than just a plot device in this movie. It literally, that moment alone, strung up tension and suspense.
It gives lives to the side characters.
Yeah, and it also the tension and suspense is strung up. It really shows that the characters in these shows are just like actual people, and this shows that this shows how important the town was to the people of Itomori that once lived there, once had a connection to it. So, and then we see Taki also goes on another montage to find the shrine, but he eventually gets stuck at one boulder before reaching the shrine. And as he's going up, he's reciting what Grandma Exposition had said about Musubi, or rather the not braiding. Which is, I think in this case, it is a foreshadowing of what's about to happen. So yeah, it's very much foreshadowing.
I'm not really sure. I really can't tell. I mean,
so we finally have Taki arrive at the top of the Miyamizu Shrine, the mountain surrounding the top of the Miyamizu Shrine.
Like the ridge lah.
Yeah, the ridge line. I mean, at this point, it shows like a macro shot of the Miyamizu Shrine in all its glory in the middle of at the base of the ridge line, in the middle of it. And I have to say, goddamn, the animations on this and the colors and the look, the visuals are just through the roof.
Glorious,
right now.
glorious, man.
Glorious.
It reminds me of glorious morning.
With weather pattern, yes.
So
when he finds the shrine, he makes his way into the shrine, which is essentially crossing into the afterlife.
Afterlife, man?
Yeah, because once you cross that water into the shrine, it's considered entering the underworld.
Oh.
I mean, when you go in, you sort of really expect that he will take the Kuchikami sake. It was just a matter of would he actually do it. or rather, which
Will he
bottle will he drink?
Yeah.
I mean, both bottle looks about the same. I mean,
I mean,
I
even
wouldn't,
with
I wouldn't
me,
actually be surprised if he actually drank the wrong bottle.
yeah. But I think the reason why he drank the correct bottle is more like, do remember, this movie is about strings of fate, you know, like the
Yeah.
red string. So in a
Yes.
sense, he through his intonation, I think you always pick the right one.
I would like to say that about my life decisions, but yeah.
That has never been true, nor will it ever be. So let's move on.
Yeah.
After all,
Unfortunately,
this
it will never
is
be
called
true.
plot. It is called plot.
Yes,
As my
yes,
life
we get it.
has seen, I will always get bad luck. I will always make the wrong decision, and that's why I'm here right now.
Stuck with the three of us? No,
Yeah.
sorry, stuck with the two of us recording a podcast. God save us all.
Hey,
Okay,
Barry, just
it
be
was
happy you're not the one
Praise the
editing
Lord.
Huh?
this. Barry, just be happy you're not the one editing this shit.
Uh,
Barry, just be happy you're not the one that needs to make sure everything's running smoothly also.
yeah, I know. I'm just here as a third party. I don't even know why I actually agreed to join you guys.
You're just here to give us the talking.
I'm the scrappy.
Yeah, you're what is Scrappy do in the entire Scooby Doo universe.
Yep. Just be a butt monkey, like how my life has always been.
Can we go back? Can we go back to the movie, please?
Yes, we can. We can go back to the movie now.
Okay, so he drinks the Kuchikami sake, and I don't know what his alcohol tolerance is, crap or whatever, but he trips over as he stands up.
I mean,
I
it
don't
might be
think-
possible.
I
I think it's more akin to be like the alcohol is too fermented.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like, it's too fermented, and maybe he didn't expect it that bad. He didn't expect it to be that bad. So
Or
it's
that
like a
strong.
shock from that. Yeah, basically.
I find it difficult to be shit-faced from just one drink though.
It's
No,
not
I don't
shit.
know that
It's like, how do you say?
It's been there for like a decade now.
No, it's not. It's only been
Oh,
3
wait.
years.
Oh wait, no, not 3 years. I mean, it's been there sitting under a rock for 3 years already. So you don't know what has happened to the them.
Fair enough.
So you don't know that, like, for example, I put a drink underneath the sun for the sun for 3 years, or the difference between underneath like something. It's got the difference will be obvious, what, you know.
Okay. So when he trips, he goes on a mad sake trip. I mean, that must have been some good shit.
No, must be some sort of trippy ass acid, man.
Oh my
Sure,
god,
whatever.
guys! Seriously, there is so many jokes in this. I'm scared to put on YouTube.
And he goes on a little sake trip down,
Some
say, memory lane for Mitsuha. And
some
actually,
epilepsy trip, man.
what I like about this,
said-
actually,
I'm going
I said-
to murder you.
I said epilepsy. I didn't say anything else.
that's bad enough for YouTube standards.
Epilepsy means when you see a flashing light, you get
Yeah, you
seizure.
know what epilepsy is. Shut up. Now
Don't
let me
worry.
continue.
Okay, no.
Okay, so he goes on this little sake trip, and the interesting thing about this, if I'm not wrong, is that I think they didn't refine the drawing for this. I think these were just like sketches that Shinkai did for this scene, and they just stuck with it.
No, I feel like it also makes a bit of sense. Like, as you do know that they are after it is like as in like he is forcibly moving himself to Mitsuha body again. Like. So I
Yeah.
feel like they purposely leave this part to be like a trip, like this type of weird ass epilepsy trip. To show that he's
I wouldn't say they left it in on purpose. It's more of like, because you're sort of going through someone's entire life as you're trying to go back as them.
so
So
it's like more akin to you seeing your life flash by you.
yeah,
Like, have
So-
you have heard of those type of words, right? Like, you know, remember Demon Slayer? There's this one scene.
Nope.
Okay, never mind. Like, as in any character
I
that
said I hate Demon Slayer, and anyone that doesn't like this on YouTube can email me.
okay, as I was saying, like any character, like the protagonist, as he's about to die, his life flashes by him, and then to me it looks something like that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But instead of his life, it's more like Mitsuha's life.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
I mean, but I like the unfinished pens it has. Like it looks like you can like see the pencil drawings and everything like that.
Mhm.
I mean, and it really shows her whole life because it sort of shows
A start of a drawing.
it shows the like the carving on the wall, which represents the comet. And then it eventually just goes to Mitsuha becoming literally having her life form, to her getting to her mother giving birth to her and having a complete family with the father. However, things take a turn for the worse when the mom gets sick
Can die.
and yeah, sadly dies.
Pass away. Then in turn, the father clearly being
The father being distraught, she went into politics and abandoned the family. Okay, so eventually it shows the reason why Mitsuha and Yotsuha are living with their grandmother, because the father abandoned their family, essentially.
Mhm.
And it was right after that scene where she shows, no, I mean not she shows, but the trip shows Mitsuha's, rather his time in Mitsuha's body,
Mhm.
or rather Mitsuha's time in his body as well, or whatever. At this point, it's really confusing.
To be honest, I got a headache watching that whole
Oh wait,
scene.
never mind. It shows Mitsuha's point of view. Sorry, I'm
But
checking on it now. Yeah,
As I
it's
said,
Mitsuha's
it still gives me a lot of headache.
I mean, that's just because the brain can't process it.
Nah, it's more like my brain is dead.
Yes,
when exactly is your brain not dead?
we all know that it's a well-established fact by now.
Yeah.
In episode 1.
Not even episode 1. Before we even start episode 1.
The intro was enough
Okay,
to
fair.
solidify the fact.
I forgot I edited that. Yeah, that's very true.
Mm-hmm.
So the second trip ends when Mitsuha sees the comet about to absolutely squash her like a bug, basically. And it proceeds to wake up, and it's Taki back in Mitsuha's body with short head Mitsuha.
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably, I think, probably the peak of comedy, or rather the peak of emotion before comedy, because he's
The
just
group.
he hugs himself and starts crying first.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part is that when Yotsuha opens the door,
He's groping himself.
he's like crying, there's snot going out, and he's groping himself.
Yeah,
And
that is by far
Yotsuha just has the biggest what the fuck expression written on her face.
language, my friend. Language. No, she has the biggest. What am I doing in my life? What have I gone wrong?
How she starts like crawling to. I like how Mitsuha starts crawling to her like freaking Sadako out of the ring on steroids. Starts crawling towards her saying, "Oh, you are alive."
Please, no. 可以走吗，妈咪？喂，不要麻烦我耶！你很懂。
Yotsuha goes into the living room and straight up just tells her grandmother like Mitsuha has gone crazy.
That's funny.
And I mean like
what do you expect? It'll be something. That is probably my expression if I see my younger brother doing that.
or rather it would be the same way if he saw you like doing that to yourself also.
Yeah, true. You make a good point.
Of course I do, it's me.
Yeah.
And at this point, you just see Taki as Mitsuha just standing and watching the TV, just saying like, okay, we still have time to save the town. And then this just like and then this just leads to even more exposition by grandma about how grandma knew the whole time about Taki being in her body. So after the huge expositional chat, she literally goes to school and she shouts, "Everybody will die in class."
Because that will go so well over.
the fact that none of them look back is also amusing.
All of them look back, bro.
They all look back. It's just that no one basically reacted after that.
No one reacted. Just
Huh.
she was like, everyone was there tonight. Everyone just went, huh? And then they just they just looked at her.
The cycle gone crazy.
And then the best part is that because of that, they stand Sayaka on snack duty. So basically, they're in one of the abandoned club rooms, while Sayaka is at the freaking 7-Eleven buying gets a crap ton of freaking snacks for them.
Yeah, that's always it's pretty amusing.
And then it doesn't help that the store owner asks her, shouldn't you be at school?
Yep.
And and the fact that she says that we have to save the town back, that's the icing on the cake. So they ended up. I mean, I find it hilarious how Tashi, even though he's best friends with Sayaka and Mitsuha, when they're in the club room discussing, Mitsuha just as straight up says, this is how you should do it. And because Taki doesn't realize that he's in Mitsuha's body, or rather he's not used to behaving like a girl, he just straight up uses her looks at what is her ass to push Tessie out of the way. And then Tessie just says, don't come so close.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then freaking Taki, being the genius that he was, started elbowing Tessie, saying, what's this? He's just saying, what's wrong? Like, what are you embarrassed? And Tashi just gives the best possible answer. He said, stop, this, and I quote from the movie. Tashi said this, quote, stop, you're a girl of marriageable age.
Oh, yeah. That's a great line.
And I'm like, I sense something in the making.
Yeah, there's something wrong with the force.
Yes. And just like how when Taki is in Mitsuha's body, she makes Mitsuha become Tashi's best bro. Literally they're talking about the escape plan and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they're talking about how they plan to use an explosive to set off a chain reaction at the power station.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just...
It's dumb. To be honest, I feel like it's dumb, but I mean they need a big bang up to try to get all the citizens to higher ground.
I mean, I'm not sure would this be considered domestic terrorism, but
It is domestic terrorism.
It
It definitely is. And the fact that I'm surprised they still haven't get arrested surprises me. What the hell is wrong with that?
My mic's up.
My ears.
Alright, continuing.
Okay, yay, let's do this. As I was saying,
Why you so drunk?
the fact that they didn't got arrested surprises me.
I mean,
because
it's anime. No one actually gets arrested in anime.
yeah, true.
Plus, I'm quite sure they'll get a pardon seeing that they kind of saved the town.
I mean, yeah lah. I mean, but yeah, I don't even want to know. It's called a plot. Plot,
You mean plot armor?
No, a plot armor is different.
This is literally plot armor. Say otherwise,
true.
and the next time.
It's plot armor. Yes, this is plot armor. Yes, I have got it wrong. This is plot armor. Yes.
It sounds like we're holding him hostage and forcing him to say that.
Please have mercy on me. I have a wife and children. Oh my god. Huh.
Okay. I wanted to continue on, but then he just
Okay, let's continue. Let's continue.
oh, Jesus Christ. And then it was like the plan was like to blow up the power, cause the whole town to use the backup supply.
Mhm.
Just I got to hijack the startup frequency. Because apparently
Oh my god, this plan has so many bad holes.
But to be fair, in the heat of the moment, can you guys think of a better idea?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't. We don't.
the better idea is freaking try to get the authorities involved.
Yeah,
Yup.
go to the authorities and say, "Oh, I'm from the
look.
future, and I know what will happen to this town."
Yeah, you'll
See
be sent to
see how far that brings you.
You'll be sent straight to the mental hospital, man.
Exactly. Very, very
know.
far in the opposite direction.
So, yeah, you are going away. You are going away from comic. Just that you are going it's in a different version of a comic.
You become the only survivor.
Oh my god. Why do we like this joke? Why are we like this? Oh my god.
In hell already.
Yes, I have survived, but at what cost?
Making people think I'm mentally unstable.
Oh my god. Okay, continue on.
Okay, so they start discussing the plan about how to get the people to evacuate outside of the not secondary school, sorry, the high
No.
school.
Out to their high school.
Yeah, out to the high school. And then they also later find out that like how Lake Itomori was also made by a previous creator that struck 1,200 years prior to the events of the movie. And then the best part is that they're like, Cassie and Justin just started this like, handshake routine. And the first part is that I'm not, so you're not really gonna get this joke, but from the side view, Mitsuha kind of looks like a Shota.
Oh, what?
A Shota.
Why? Just why? Oh my god.
Sorry.
Hey, at least you don't have an ara girl long lah. Huh? If not something bad will happen. Do you know
Bro,
why?
let's not talk about One Shota right now. That's gonna be like a special exclusive episode.
Ah yes, bloopers.
Yes. And I just like how it just ends up like Teshi just treats her like a bro and puts his arm over her. Let's do it together with the most
Yup.
intense face.
Ah yes, I it's pretty funny.
Hey, you
And
alright?
Barry died.
You alright?
I'm alright lah. I laughed too hard, man.
You got your inhaler?
Like, of course I got my inhaler, but this is not asthma, bro. Asthma is when I can't
Just in
breathe
case
and then
it
I die.
triggers. Just in
No,
case.
it won't trigger. It will not trigger. I confirm to you, will not trigger, you know?
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
The Shota then goes to the father's office.
Father's office.
And then the father literally said the same thing that you two assholes said. He said that Mitsuha has gone crazy and wants to send her to a hospital.
I didn't say that. I
Ah,
just said how far it will. I'm just saying it will not go far.
Yep.
Let me clarify before someone starts blaming me in the comments.
Yep. It will not go far. Nah, but to be honest, I feel like it also makes sense for his father to feel that way. I mean, what will you do when some random dude decides? No, when a family relative of yours has come. I know what happened to this town, and I want everyone to evacuate right now. Like, wouldn't that sound weird? As if like, you know.
Bold of you to assume I even talked to my family to begin with.
I'm just
Okay,
saying-
family
I'm
problems
just
aside,
saying,
let's move.
and I'm just saying as a one example. You don't bring up your sad life.
Nah, I'm used to it. I like being the black horse of the family, no expectations, nothing.
The black sheep of the family. All right,
Yeah.
whatever.
But this is my favorite scene where Taki just loses it. He just goes, "You son of a bitch," and grabs him by the thigh.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, it takes real balls to do that. I think he doesn't seem to realize he's still in Mitsuha's body.
No, but I hate the fact that he said this to Mitsuha. The madness must be inherited from the Miyamizu side.
Huh. To be honest, I feel like the father is, as I state, while I don't understand the father's grief at times, the fact that he says it as a way, he says it in such a tone, as if it is the mother's fault, is a bit evil, you know? It's a bit bad, It's as if you're mouthing your wife,
I mean, at this point, he's a widow, so
He's a widow, but it's still not good to like disrespect the dead, you know?
He has a point there.
I mean, yep, you have a point. I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
As screwed up as I am, I can't make an argument against that.
Mm-hmm. Like seriously, the Mitsuha side, the Mitsuha family deals in more or less fate.
Miyamizu, you mean?
I can't pronounce their name, alright? I'm sorry. Miyamizu, Ken?
Yes.
Miyamizu family deals more or less in fate, as the whole movie has shown us. You know?
Yes.
So,
And also making better calls while giving plot exposition, but yes.
in a sense, their whole family deals with fate because to them, the threat is like a fate to them. They are sowing their fate.
They're sowing time, not fate, Jesus.
I really don't know, whatever. So, in a sense, the Mizu family is trying their best to help their village.
Yeah, let's give Barry a round of applause for actually pronouncing the name correctly this time.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's sad because you're the only one that's actually clapping. I'm not even clapping.
I know.
It's
That's why I
fine, Barry.
must-
I'll add the I'll add the stock footage of people clapping for you.
What the yeah?
No. You should do the boo boo. That one is perfect.
No, the
It's-
People,
Boo,
people,
you suck.
don't flame me when I edit this. He said it.
Yes. Don't flame our editor because I said it. I want to self-depreciate myself. These type of jokes are the best, man.
Oh Jesus! Okay, let's move on before you go even more depressing.
Yes. After all, this movie is depressing enough already.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on, I keep accidentally activating my volume button by accident.
Oh my god.
I apologize about that.
So it wasn't my fault.
We never said it was your fault.
No,
No,
don't
at
ask
this
me.
point,
I'm going
you're like
mad.
putting words in our mouth at this point.
Like, are you okay? Okay, never mind. You're
No.
not okay.
That
No,
sounds like
Cynthia
Michael
knows
Jackson if he was like getting kicked in the nuts.
Thank you for the image.
Notes, I just realized this. I noted down the confrontation between Mitsuha and the father as confronts asshole there.
I mean, you have to admit the father is an asshole. For all that it's worth, he is pretty cold towards his eldest daughter. I did not accidentally fuck up what I wanted to say, but yes. He
So
is
much for
pretty
language.
asshole. Okay. He is a
He is an asshole. Period. Okay,
Yeah.
moving on.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and afterwards, at the uphill road, Yasuha talks to Taki, who is in Mitsuha's body, about Mitsuha like being weird. 1 minute going to Tokyo and 1 minute talking about the town being destroyed. And it was only at that exact moment where where Taki realizes that weird girl that like went to find middle schooler Taki 3 years ago is actually like his future
Mitsuha.
Mitsuha slash his future girlfriend. Jesus, but it'll be quite scary. Just like some random girl you don't know. Just do you remember who I am?
Oh, right. Oh shit. What did I forget? Yeah. It's like that one. It reminds me of that one video where the wife says the husband's name and the husband's eyes. Was it today? Did I forget? Yeah, it just reminds me of like those type, you know.
Okay, so we are approaching the end of the second act.
Now it's the third act, right?
We are approaching the end of the second act where it is where Mitsuha, or rather Taki, hears the bells ringing from the Miyamizu shrine
Mhm.
and goes to find Mitsuha in Taki's body. But before we go to the third act, do you guys have anything else to add on to the second act?
Let's see the second act.
The thing
Okay, I
we've
only
been
have
reviewing
one.
for the past like hour.
I have one. The father is an asshole. That's it.
Okay, because I have a few more points about the minus interesting and my personal opinion, I think. Or no personal opinion, just minus and interesting.
Go on.
Let me just take a look at my notes first because I only can remember the good points. I can't exactly remember the bad or interesting points.
Mhm.
I'm pissed off that in the confrontation, Taki didn't punch the dad in the face. To be honest, I wanted to see him get like clocked at least once. I hate the fact that also when he was trying to research Itomori, that he started to forget about Mitsuha.
Yeah, that scene. I think it makes sense because, like, that whole scene is like, in a sense, now he's realizing what is happening. He has more or less never met Mitsuha in his life before. If you think about it, only that one time during the train ride.
Thing part I found about the second act is that remember when his friends were like on the train with him?
Mm-hmm.
It was exactly at that moment they started playing the soundtrack Itomori High School, which
Really?
yeah, which is the very upbeat one that you hear during the train scene, and it actually suits the montage perfectly because it's just him going around asking random old people whether do they know where Itomori is. Hold on. And if I'm not wrong, later on in the scene where at the mountaintop where there's the Misuha calling out to Taki. If I'm not wrong, that should be taken from the train scene also when Mitsuha goes to Tokyo to meet probably middle school Taki.
Yeah, probably middle school Taki. Are we seriously summarizing this whole point now?
Yeah, we're summarizing the whole second act.
This is gonna take forever.
Okay, now we are moving to Act 3 now.
Yay!
The third act officially picks off, if I'm not wrong, I would like to say the third act would pick off after Mitsuha wakes up with Taki's body and climbs up the mountain.
Mm-hmm. Of
And
the
that-
shrine, of the shrine,
Yeah,
right?
of the shrine. And it's at that moment where she remembers herself seeing the meteorite hit and realizing that she died, and that's the formation of the second leg Itomori.
Hmm.
And I just realized the landmass of Itomori is like really pathetic.
I mean, this is a small town, one. Have you
No, I
seen?
mean it's mostly mountainous region, so that means with second leg Itomori around, there is no way in hell that anyone's gonna repopulate the area because it's all mountainous area.
That's
I mean,
kind of the point,
actually,
isn't it?
no, lah. No, lah, to be honest, this is how most Japanese villages looks like. What I've been I've been to one before.
Fair enough. Okay, anyway, so here we have Mitsuha realizing that she died, and I just have one problem with the scene.
What?
She's way to come.
No, you know where she sort of covers her mouth and falls onto her knees.
Yeah.
Guys' knees don't bend like that.
What I mean? Wait, guys'
Our-
knees.
Our knees aren't supposed to bend into a W.
What do you mean? Let's try. Ow! I can't do it.
I was waiting for that one. I was waiting for that so badly.
Yeah, true. Our legs can't do it.
Our legs aren't supposed to do that.
Yeah, true.
So I'm thinking, how the hell did like Mitsuha fall into that position as Taki and not hurt?
Because she's used to it.
And remember, it's on top of a mountainous rocky area.
Oh my god, that's gonna hurt, man.
So how did that not hurt? Okay, anyways.
Anyways,
So we have Taki cycling up the hill as fast as he can.
Mm-hmm.
And he remembers Mitsuha's trip to Japan. Not to Japan, sorry, to Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
So he manages to see what was that through her perspective, finding Taki.
Mm-hmm.
It shows how it allowed Taki to understand how Mitsuha felt when she went to find a little boy Taki. So, I mean, it's interesting to see Taki stand in Mitsuha's shoes. But to be honest, you could tell how out of place she felt in Tokyo, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, like, she is in a rural area, like,
Yeah.
the countryside. So how the traditions from the countryside to a city is vastly different, like.
And this is where we learn that the first scene from the movie, which was her throwing the red hair, the
red ribbon
to Taki, was apparently as she was exiting the train at that particular scene. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So finally the dots start to connect. And so we resume back to Mitsuha crashing Tessie's bike. Poor guy. There goes his bike. Take his bike and proceeding to run up a hill.
Yeah.
And for some reason, apparently she can run as fast as a guy. I don't know the physics behind that, but yeah.
No, I think it's more like more akin to adrenaline.
Yeah, probably.
You know, like
Okay, yeah,
now she knows what's happening. That she's got, if she doesn't do jack shit again, she's gonna die a second time. So
I think it would be worse if what's her name? It would be worse if Mitsuha didn't body swap back in time and she just permanently stuck in Taki's body.
oh my god. But to be honest,
I mean that's probably our fate worse than death.
oh yeah, wasn't there a scene before that when they were above the mountain, they try to write each other's name on each other's wrist,
Yeah,
right?
that's the scene we're about to copy now. They were about not to copy, but we're about to talk now.
Oh.
So it is at this scene where they meet at the top of the mountain. So it starts off with Taki screaming Mitsuha at the top of his lungs as Mitsuha. And Mitsuha as Taki sort of realizes that, oh shoot, my body is calling me.
As a side note, is it kind of weird? Like, if you imagine like the outsider's point of view, when they hear, like, let's just say they know who Mitsuha is, and then they just hear her voice shouting her name at the top of the mountain.
Yeah, that's a bit amusing. No, but I think it cannot be heard because don't know the mountain is at a higher altitude.
I know what you mean, but like, just imagine that for a second.
Yeah, I mean, just like
Imagine instead of a secluded mountain, it's like the town square.
Oh no!
oh my god, that's gonna be so awkward. Yeah, everybody.
Imagine it's just like at the town square of like an anime like Konosuba where there's so many people around.
God, that would be
You're
so.
be like Mitsuha, huh? Isn't that Mitsuha?
And Taki. Wait, what?
Taki is in the middle of nowhere, so no, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
No one is gonna know who Taki is.
Yeah, exactly. So you got Taki saying Taki as if Taki is in Mitsuha, and then Mitsuha just saying her own name.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole scene will be pretty amusing.
It sounds like a scene out of like
Some
I don't know, like,
some shitty
like-
comedy.
it's not a scene out of The Simpsons, to be honest.
Yes, that.
It reminds me of like a Treehouse of Horror episode.
Oh no.
Okay, but moving on.
Moving on.
So at this point, they're just running. Apparently, they're running on a mountain, which takes less than 30 seconds. I don't know what sorcery is this.
It's plot. It's called plot.
Shut up with your plot.
Oh, there's something called
Actually,
plot. I'll never stop with the plot.
It kind of makes sense with the setting sun, though.
How?
I mean, I don't think the sun sets that fast.
Ah, yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough.
I'm quite sure it's 30 seconds to us, but it's probably like running for like maybe 30 minutes
A
for
good
them.
A good, huh?
30 minutes,
No, I feel like they're running for a good good 10 minutes.
Because from what I remember, there was some some dude that use pixel management, pixel measurement to count the circumference of the ridge
Sun.
line.
Are you kidding me? Seriously?
Yeah,
Huh.
then it says it was like 40 something miles long.
Uh-huh.
Jesus.
So that means she ran about a quarter of it. That means she ran 11 miles. And assuming that the number is correct, 11 miles is. Wait, hold on. No, you're shitting me. You're shitting me.
No, I feel like it's 33 kilometers.
11 miles is 17.6 kilometers. That means she ran 17.6 kilometers in half an hour in school shoes and a school
Wait.
uniform.
Wait, let me
Maybe
just
the half an hour is a little bit of a little bit
Wait. Let me do the calculation. It's not 17 point what
17.6 kilometers.
0.6 kilometers. Then after that, you're assuming divide by.
No, times what? Divide by 1.6. Supposedly that's 1/4 of the circumference.
So how fast is she running?
If you
0.6. Then after that, this one.
She has to be running faster than the human body can actually take.
Yeah, divided by.
Divided by 0.5, she needs to be running at a rate of 35.2 kilometers per hour.
guys, you do realize that my estimation could be wrong, right?
Huh?
Yes, I know.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's,
but,
you know,
but
more
that's
than-
just assuming. No, but then even so, assuming it is like what she ran for an hour. She's still running like 17.6 kilometers per hour.
Which is possible because the human skeletal frame and muscle frame can the maximum it goes before braking is 28 kilometers per hour.
Huh.
There has been athletes that are known to temporarily in a sudden burst go up to 30 or even 36.
But still,
But that is not for
She-
extended periods of time.
she's running at the top of a goddamn mountain.
But considering the fact that she's going possibly 35.2 kilometers per hour on mountain terrain in school uniform, food for thought to say the least.
What next Captain America lah. But no, this is more like Captain Japan.
Wait, what was the speed that you guys counted again?
35.2 kilometers per hour.
35.2.
I can't do a math. I can't do the math right now because I don't have my calculator with me.
Wait,
So we're more-
so 35.2 is the 1 hour thing.
Half an hour.
1 hour?
17.6.
1 hour.
Assuming she
1 hour is still possible, seeing that the fastest man and woman are 23 and 21 miles per hour.
Kilometers, you're
Exactly.
saying kilometers.
I'm too lazy to convert this.
Yeah,
to
don't
kilometers.
convert, man. Our brain is like 11 in the night already. Please,
kilometer conversion is just times 1.6.
bro, this is a
I'm
podcast.
good.
This is not a math class.
And,
Let's get out of this part. This is a podcast, not a math class.
and to the viewers, it's very obvious that Barry hates math.
No, I love math. What are you talking about? But seriously,
What?
we
What
are
are you
getting.
talking about? He's a D&T student. He loves math.
Yeah, but the problem is that we are so off topic right now.
Technically, we're still on topic.
Yeah, we are still on topic lah. But come on.
Okay.
Technically.
Okay, so eventually they do run past each other, but is every time they pass each other is signified with the sound of ringing bells.
Mhm.
So eventually they do meet each other, and somehow when they meet each other, just nice.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
Kicks in. What?
I need to ask you a question. Ring bell signifies something, right? I can't recall what it signifies though.
No fucking clue either.
Let me just check. You guys can continue with the podcast. I'm gonna start checking.
Okay, so we shall carry it from here. Show Barry that he can't do shit. Okay. So when eventually they meet each other, Twilight exactly kicks in at the exact moment, and they swap back.
Oh, I found it now.
So meaning Taki means Taki, and Mitsuha is Mitsuha now.
Oh, I found what it means, yo. You know what it means?
What?
The ring of bell is often used to symbolize peace and freedom. In many religions, a healing bell is said to herald the arrival of a supernatural power or spirit. be the voice of angels or Sound of Revelation.
So in
Another
this
be
case, it's Katawari Doki lah. It is signaling that Katawari Doki is near lah.
yeah lah, something like that lah. That's what I found lah.
But in that situation, I don't think it was just the bell though.
I think it's signaling that they are near each other also.
Yeah, I feel like something like that.
Yeah,
I feel like
I know what
it's-
I know what you guys mean, but the thing is, in that situation, right?
Oh wait, I think I know what it means, yeah. Because do know that this time round, Taki and Mitsuha are meeting each other at the same time, even though they are technically 3 years apart.
The point.
So in a sense, do know it means supernatural. So in a sense, the ring of bell means that they have met through a supernatural means.
actually makes sense. That checks out.
The details are adding up. Very famous and not speaking gibberish. Good on you.
Oh, piss off, man. Piss off.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on.
So they eventually meet, and they are both really happy to meet each other and suggest to write the name on each other's hand. Anyone got anything to comment about this part?
What part?
The fact that they met,
Yeah.
then they spent so much time talking, and they decided to finally write their names before Twilight ends.
Mm-hmm. I already said what I want to say just now with the bells.
Oh, the bells. That's about it.
I don't really have. To be honest, I just want to say that this whole scene is very heartwarming. It makes me cry.
Don't worry. It doesn't help that the soundtrack Katawari Doki was added in also.
Yeah.
Wait, let me check. Do I have any notes on the Katawari Doki? Okay, no, I'm on my last 2 pages. Let's get ready to wrap things up.
I know like it's supposed to be a heartwarming scene, but the thing is, they could have gone so much fast.
No, I feel like it's well done.
It's well done. Don't get me wrong, but in a realistic situation, one of them is about to die.
Oh yeah, true.
I get it. It's heartwarming. It's supposed to be anime, but seriously, move the fuck up. Time for me to remove this.
Yep.
You are getting flamed so badly on Reddit after this.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm not even on Reddit. Bloody Twitter, Storm, anything.
Actually, wait, hold on. I'll advertise this podcast on the Your Name subreddit.
Oh no, fuck off.
Please no. Please no. Please. Okay, if this actually blows up, I say you better give us our pay also.
We need 10,000 subscribers before we are even monetized.
Yeah, but just imagine after we do this, someone managed to get 10,000 subscribers.
We're gonna need to do a lot more than just this.
Yeah, we're gonna need a lot more than just this.
The best way to earn money is via live stream, so yeah.
By the way, I'm editing, so I can remove all of this.
Yeah, true.
You son of a bitch.
You monster! You monster! How dare you foil our perfect plans!
I'm the one editing. I'm making your plans.
True.
That's doing
True. Don't piss off the editor. As much as I've learned.
You're gonna do what's called a power harassment at the workplace.
No, next thing I do, strike.
You strike what? You're not doing shit other than talking.
Did everything that Barry said out.
Oh my god. Okay, moving on.
Okay, and to be honest, this is like what Zeng Yu said, is a really heartwarming scene. I cry every time I watch it, other than now because I don't have the audio in my ears making me want to cry.
To be honest, I can cry with that just scene alone.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I'm on the verge. Okay, let's just fast forward 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just fast forward to the part where I said I drank the Kuchikami sake.
Oh yeah, that part is funny.
So,
it's as if like the whole scene is amusing because I drank the kuchisame you make. Then her Mitsuha's reaction is, eh?
No, but before that, there is a pause in the music. There is a pause in the music when Mitsuha falls, which is followed by the resuming of the music. That just makes the scene even more impactful because Taki starts talking about how he came out to find her. But this leads to a scene later on where she starts crying because she sees Taki wrote "I love you" on her hand. So yeah, that's quite that's a big oof right there.
Oh yeah. They wrote each
Yeah.
other on each other hands, right?
Before that, before we go to the big spills, we have a little comedy moment for us to deal with.
Like what? I can't recall.
The Kuchikami Sake,
Oh yeah,
she
that
just
one.
goes here and she starts glowing.
Blushing. I mean, it is. I mean, you are drinking someone else's saliva, what, so it's more or less indirect kissing.
I mean,
Hmm?
and then she says this. She's like, "Oh yeah, you broke me too." And then Taki just gets up asks, "How do you know that?"
Oh
He,
yeah.
she sounds like a typical guy getting caught for doing something she shouldn't have done.
Yes,
I
exactly.
mean, technically, in this situation, he is.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep.
I retract my statement.
Oh my god.
And you know what's the best part? He just said that he couldn't help it and that it was just once in his defense.
Which we all know it is.
It's a lie.
Yes. Yep. After every scene he wakes up, gropes.
You guys
Oh,
enjoy this
God.
scene way too much.
I mean, it is a guy's dream.
And then they start going on another exposition about how I wouldn't recognize you if you came 3 years earlier, and like I took your ribbon as a lucky charm and kept it for 3 years. Blah blah blah. Now after that, and then here comes the everything that a guy shouldn't hope. Hope that a girl doesn't ask. She puts on the hair ribbon and she asks, "What does he think?"
Oh.
And then he just says, "It's not bad." And then and then immediately gets like, "Oh no, you're lying. What the fuck? What's the point of asking him then?"
The trap question
I
of
would like
everyone.
to add that is sadly the most realistic, one of the more realistic parts of that.
I mean, you are the only one with a girlfriend, man.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I have the right. I have the power to confirm, not deny that
relate.
situation.
I cannot relate. Either way, past or present relationship, and you cannot relate.
Yep.
Let's just say I got stuck in that situation more times than I wish I could. All right, let's go move on before this gets a little bit sadder than expected.
Black and grey morality, man.
I'm clearly like Vanta Black, sorry.
Alright, moving on.
Moving on. They start laughing and then they decide to say, "Let's write our names on each other's hand," as the comet starts approaching. So, and the best part is that they said, "Let's write our name on each other's hands here," and this is the part that really made me cry.
What? Oh yeah, I remember now. I remember that whole scene.
He writes whatever he wants to write on her hand. And she proceeds to write something like the stroke, and apparently the stroke is going to be the start for "I love you." But the minute she finishes the first stroke, Katawari Doki is over and the pen just drops.
Yeah. That is pretty sad because after all, they only managed to do it. They only managed to meet for like how long? A few minutes, right?
I would say the sunset. So I would say sunset would be about half an hour, and then it goes on to like Taki saying, "I remember her name. I remember her name. I remember her name," and immediately forgets it the minute he goes down for the pen.
I mean, I understand the logic. Cause
I mean,
the way time,
I feel like
the way time like corrects itself in this movie is that, like, if you literally just keep your mind off that one thought, like for half a second, and it's basically gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you know what happened or not? I feel like this whole meaning is more like a fashion. It's like more or less over is saying that means the timeline has shifted already, has like completely changed.
And the body swapping didn't happen in the first place. Yes, I get it.
Yeah lah. So in a sense, it's the timeline just corrected itself, and in a sense that the Mitsuha and Taki never met each other like this.
Yeah.
So I think it makes sense for him to suddenly forget her name.
And it's at this part where he goes, "What's your name?" It doesn't help that at this point they inserted the theme song Sparkle, which is Zeng his favorite song, like one of his favorite. It starts at the piano starts right as he says, "What's your name?"
Honestly, yeah, that one actually that one got me. Honestly,
And then speaking the
like-
thing starts at the piano. The
I
piano.
mean, it is really very sad. It is a tearjerker. After all, after like finding each other for so long,
They finally fought, but it couldn't last.
they meet each other, but then in the end they forgotten each other.
And then after
Like
that, we see
both parties really forgot each other.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Mm.
And then you see Mitsuha racing against time.
Racing against time in order to save Itomori.
Yes, and then you see she arrives at
Father's office.
no at the power station first
Oh yeah.
to commit some acts of domestic terrorism.
Yes, domestic terrorism.
Oh, Chris, we're gonna get questioned by CID later.
True.
Okay, so
Bro, hey, Zhang Yu, cut this whole part out. Seriously. Cut this whole part out. I
have
don't
the
want the
power
CID right in
now.
front of my door. Please, no, my friend. You also kena.
I haven't said a single word of I haven't said anything.
No. But you're part of this group, so you will kena.
I haven't agreed with anything. So
Oi, 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 oi. Oi.
I like how Barry is so desperately begging you to freaking edit.
exactly, I have the power.
Please, no. Please, I'll pay you something. I'll pay you ramen. Please.
I just choked on my own saliva.
Please, man, I'll pay you ramen. Just cut this whole part out. I don't want to go to jail.
It's the fact that Barry just made it so funny that I can't cut this part out now.
Oh man. I just screwed myself over. Crap.
Alright,
Well,
let's move on.
how could this happen to me?
Okay,
Alright, continue.
and then so they blow up the power station, and then you see like Sayaka is like, oh fuck it, I'll just do it. So she hijacks the broadcasting system, broadcasts the evacuation message.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the explosion, right, I thought it would be much smaller.
The fact that it's like a size of a
It looks like the size of a 500-pound bomb, to be honest.
that's big. The only complaint I don't have is there was no mushroom clouds.
It's
You
not a
know-
nuke.
It's not a nuke.
No,
Barry.
bro, normal explosion can also pull off a
Yeah,
mushroom
but
cloud.
it's not a big enough scale for a mushroom cloud to happen.
True.
Jesus Christ, you and your freaking mushroom clouds. Go and eat some mushrooms instead.
I love mushroom, man. That's why I love mushroom clouds.
Okay,
Guys,
whatever.
please stop making jokes I cannot put on the YouTube video. Okay, let's move
So
on.
after they blow,
Yeah,
after they blow up the power station and send out the evacuation messages. I mean, of course, the town hall will be shitting themselves.
Yeah, like they're all confused on what happened.
On the other hand, we have the same situation with Taki happening to Mitsuha, where she just suddenly starts crying and say that, "Oh no, I've forgotten his name."
Yeah,
So that's a bit of a pain in the ass as a viewer, but it
Yeah.
adds on to the. But to be honest, I like how determined Mitsuha is to save the town.
yeah. I mean, after all, she did that once already,
Yeah.
so she ain't dying again. That's for sure.
And you know, this is probably the most suspenseful part of the anime where if I'm not wrong, I think. Oh wait, no, this is not quite there, but I like when Mitsuha and the crew are like stuck in their tracks. You can sense that hopelessness when Tessie gets caught by his father and goes, "Sorry, Mitsuha, it's over." You can really sense that hopelessness.
After all their hard work to try to save the town is going to the drain.
Also, they thought.
Yeah lah.
So here we see the meteorite speed, which is the most iconic part lah.
Mhm.
Followed by, if I'm pretty sure she's running through she's running the downhill slope,
Mhm.
and this is when the music swells up the most. Only for the most suspenseful pause when Mitsuha trips over a crack in the road and like rolls down.
Mhm.
And it doesn't help that when she regains consciousness,
Mhm.
it starts at the most like the softest like whisper part of the song,
Mhm.
and then she just opens her hands and it says "I love you."
Mhm.
It
Because you can feel the emotions
yeah,
that
you can
she's
feel the
feeling right now.
emotion.
Mhm.
And then when she decided to start running, you can see determined Mitsuha. +1 for determined Mitsuha.
Knowing that your town is about to be hit by an asteroid or a comet, it fills you with determination.
Why did I think of Undertale?
Because I purposely did it.
God damn you. You perfected my
Respect
gamer
again.
side, damn you.
Respect again.
Yes.
So after
Very.
after the song Sparkle sort of plays out, Mitsuha appears at her old man's office again.
Her father's office again. This time we're more than determined to change her father's mind to evacuate the town.
At this part, it is when after it shows her going to her old man's office to bargain once more. It shows the most like the scene everyone was basically waiting for, which was the destruction of Itomori. And to be honest, I have never seen destruction animated so beautifully.
Yeah, this is a first. I
Yeah,
mean,
to be-
almost every explosion in anime I've seen is sad. Obviously, this is still equally sad, but it is
It's
not
sad and
really.
beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, you can feel like it's like a chaos of beauty. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so after the discussion, here we come back to Taki sleeping on the mountaintop and waking up, thinking,
Mhm.
what is he doing here? And there's a time skip to 2 years after he wakes up at the top of the mountain, and he is now out job hunting. And the best part is that because of the altered timeline, he sees what looks to be the silhouette of Mitsuha, and immediately tries to get off the train. Or rather, he does get off the train, but he misses her. So it's at the end where
Where Taki is
yeah, Taki is applying
trying
for
to
job.
find
Yeah.
he's trying to apply for a job, and then the way he says his interview is pretty amusing. Like
You never
I
know
feel
when
like
you might disappear as well. Yes.
yeah, I feel like it's more akin to like a deja vu, you know,
Yeah.
as in like a nostalgic feeling, you know, like the what is it called, the Nelson Mandela effect. I think you have heard of it, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but never mind.
No, I feel like he, in a sense, now it's a new timeline, right?
Yes.
So in a sense, he is more or less applying the knowledge from the previous timeline into his current timeline. So in a sense,
basically like every DC universe timeline when the Flash fucks it over.
yes.
Okay, good enough. Let's get a move on.
So while this whole scene, after the failed job hunt, right, he goes and talks to his friends.
Yeah, he goes talk to his friends, and then the first part is like
The friends being being assholes.
maybe it's
him.
because of their suit.
Because of that suit. And after that, even Okudera also says the exact same thing.
I feel bad for Taki.
Yeah, but what I have to say about what I have to say is that you can see how each and everybody has like grown older, and also seen like how they have continued on with their lives, right?
Yes.
After all, in this whole scene now, where remember how you talk about how where Taki saw the silhouette or the back of Mitsuha, right, and tries to look for her.
Yeah.
The ending whole scene also has like how he also gets to, if you see closely, you can see Tessie, Sayaka, right?
Yes, I know, yeah.
And also who is the last one? The sister. Who is the sister?
Suha.
Huh? Yotsuha,
Yotsuha.
right?
As a
Yeah,
JK,
you can-
yes.
Yeah,
She
as a
becomes a
junior
JK.
junior high, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what JK stands for, but yeah, junior.
JK just stands for high school girl.
Oh, high school girl. So you can see all of them are all grown up and now living their own lives.
Yeah. And it's very and this is very heavily implied because Okudera senpai at this point she gotten engaged.
Engaged to Taki's friend, which is who? The tall one.
You sure it's the tall one?
Yeah. Huh?
She got
I know,
married,
the
but she
engaged
didn't say
to
to who.
No, but if I have read some notes from the from Kimi no Nawa, the word of God or the creator has I think established the fact that they are engaged together.
Wow. So that guy isn't just your typical four eyes, then he got skills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and it's at this point where we later find out that the evacuation of Itomori was a success with the rescue teams and everything coming down.
Mm-hmm. And that there were like what, 0 casualties, right?
Yeah, 0 casualties. Wait, hold on. What's 0? Hold on, let me check. No, no fatalities, but there were 104 casualties.
Oh.
So,
You can
hold on.
see then the how, you know how with this type of rumors rumors will spread, right? So in a sense, the Mitsuha's father, while he's now in a clearly very tight situation, I feel like it's very good for the father, because in a sense he finally decides to listen to his daughter for one time.
Piece of shit deserves it either way.
Yeah. Huh?
He deserves all the political scandals that he's facing.
No, but in a sense, you can, if he did not listen, you know what will happen, right? The whole town will blow up. The fact that he decides to listen to his daughter one last time, or I don't know why, but this one time, it shows the fact that he is willing to change.
Yes, I mean,
so in a sense, I feel like after this time, maybe their family will become one better family.
Highly unlikely, but sure.
In a sense, I feel like what will happen.
Let's wait if there's ever OVA release about that.
Yeah, true.
It's at this point where the monologue starts again. It's like, oh, I feel like I'm always searching for someone, for something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's at this part where we see Taki at what seems to be wing beans. Apparently,
Wingdings.
Yeah, it looks like a coffee place that's similar to Starbucks. So
wait, we're talking about the font Wingdings, right? I can't hear you.
The coffee place that he sees Sayaka and Tessie.
Oh. Okay, continue on.
So it shows that how they've grown and the fact that they became a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And literally,
after all they have done through in Itamori, I feel like in a sense I believe they have grown closer.
And I just like how because that they are older now, he has like a scruffy beard.
Yeah, I know.
And then he's like,
to denote that he has grown older.
Yeah. And I like just how his wife, or rather Sayaka, just says lose the beard before the wedding.
Not really wife lah, but engaged. They are not married.
Fiance, yeah.
Yeah, fiance.
And at this point, a lot of people are saying, please don't make it be a 5 centimeters per second again. Because it was raining, and then, not raining, but it was snowing. But Taki walked past Mitsuha. She was carrying an umbrella.
Oh no, it's this style. I know what you mean. This style scene.
So everyone were like, Shinkai, don't make this a 5 centimeter per second ending where they walk off and the movie just ends.
I know. I read some comments that says it like that. Right? It's amusing to see the comments praying and hoping that Kai doesn't do the exact same thing he always does in almost every movie.
So afterwards, there's more eternal monologue from Taki, and then I just turned on my volume and getting goosebumps by the soundtrack already. So this is where the Nande Monaya soundtrack comes into play, and it's a montage of downtown Tokyo as well as what's his name? Taki trying to find Mitsuha. And it shows the different lives that they're all living now. He also has a JK. Messi and Sayaka is engaged. And so on and so forth.
With all their friends having grown up, what?
Yeah. And then it shows like scenes from the start of the movie. And then it shows and then it shows the adult versions of them getting ready for work. So it's just a really good montage of showing like the differences between the start of the movie and the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And then you see is like clearly they can tell something is off because they're just staring off into space every time. So it was at that moment where both their trains were at the same they were running at the same speed.
Almost, it's more like akin to like in the near like parallel to each other lah.
Yeah. And what do you do when you see someone that you think you know jump off the next station and immediately run to a staircase?
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, that one I have questions for that one, but I'll leave that for later.
No,
Continue.
I feel like I think they jump off the nearest station because it is closer to each other one.
Yeah, and it's also nice that they show the Tokyo cityscape. However, there's a small little detail I want to add in later on, but thereafter they eventually do find each other. And then as they approach each other at the famous red staircase, the song starts swelling.
And everybody's like, please don't make this into a 5 minute.
The 5 centimeter per second ending, but of course it doesn't.
Which is, from what I heard, a big surprise.
And then the song starts swelling up even more. And then he turns around and says, "Hey, haven't we met?" And then she says, "That's what I thought so too."
Then the title drop at the end. Kimi
the title drop at the end. And she says, "I thought so too." So afterwards, it shows, and then the title drop happens, and that's the end of the movie.
Yep.
So, anything else you want to add on to the third act, or add on to our whole podcast?
I have already add all I want to add. All I want to say is please remove the terrorism.
Nah. Another thing I want to point out is during that last scene, right? Like, what are the chances of them going the exact same route to the exact same staircase?
Do know that this is a movie about fate. From my own perspective lah. To me, this is a movie about fate. So to what I see is that because while they may be very far off, the red line fate string of fate will always bring them together in the end. So I feel like no matter what, they always meet near that staircase. They always meet some way or another.
So what you're basically saying is they are using the
supernatural.
They're using the red string of fate as an ex machina device.
Yes.
Okay, then sure. It's been 1,000 other movies that have done that already. So
I like it how Zeng Yu is now just completely gave up his brain.
Okay, so there's a little Easter egg I want to add on to that.
And what is that?
You know the staircase, right? Do you notice the detail that right before they run up the staircase, you notice that the floor seems to be a little bit wet.
Weathering review.
So apparently this scene takes place at the end of Weathering with You also.
But I feel like it's not really an Easter egg. This wasn't Kimi no Nawa before Weathering with You.
Yes.
So it's more like Weathering with You had an Easter egg in for Kimi no Nawa.
No, because this itself is an Easter egg, because this is actually taking part at the end of Weathering with You also.
But wasn't Weathering with You the later movie?
No, Weathering with You came out along the same timeline, so meaning it's along the same timeline. That's why.
No, I'm saying like when the film came out.
Yes.
Really, man? Wait.
Yeah.
No, it's an Easter egg because if you look at the details carefully, this is the scene where Hina is praying. That's why. So I think that concludes it really. So
Kimi no Nawa came at 2016. Weathering with You.
Weathering with You came out in 2018.
I thought it was 2019.
No, 2019 is international release different.
Oh. Huh.
But yeah,
You know what? I'm not gonna question, but I feel like this isn't really an Easter egg.
whatever you do, it is an Easter egg, and that will remain a fact.
Easter eggs is when a newer series try to shout out something to an older series.
Okay, whatever.
Like how the
We don't need examples at this point.
Castaway.
Yes, I get it.
Wilson.
So, with that being said, this concludes our first episode of the BWZ podcast. So please give it a listen and show some support.
Okay, I'm Barry. We have our host W, Wei Zhi, and our editor Zeng Yu. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day, everyone.
Please, Zeng Yu, say something.
More accurately, have a nice night, saying that we're about to go to sleep.
Yeah, true. It's 11 o'clock, but it's to our viewers outside. So have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Zeng Yu, you too.
I love my life.
僕らタイムフライヤー時を駆け上がるクライマー時のかくれんぼはぐれっこはもう嫌なんだ嬉しくて泣くのは悲しくて笑うのは君の心が君を追い越したんだよ